So in this video, we will try to see about your spouse as per your Darakaraka planet. So I would like to share some new insight regarding Darakaraka planet. In this video, we will also cover Rahu Ketu as a Darakaraka. My opinion about Darakaraka is Rahu Ketu. So we will cover all 9 planets as a Darakaraka. So let's see that. I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance because I'm giving massive % discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. So now let's see what will going to happen if Sun become your Darakaraka planet. So you know your Darakaraka or DK planet is the planet holding the lowest degree in your chart. So you have to see your Vedic astrology chart, find out which is your lowest degree planet, and as per that, what are the things that we can see about you in chart. So see, I have seen this thing that when Sun become Darakaraka planet, so you are a kind of a person, if your Darakaraka is a Sun, then you are a kind of a person who naturally feel that you have a very high standard for your partner. You feel internally your parents or anyone is suggesting some normal person to get married. Let's say you are in any country where arranged marriage is there, right? And your parents are suggesting someone, your neighbors or like let's say your relatives are suggesting someone to get married, and internally you feel like, oh, what the hell, man, I do not want to get married to such a simple person. Because when Darakaraka becomes Sun, such person would like to get married to someone who might have very high standard. That could be really important for them. Let's say even you want to get love marriage and you are in some Western country and some normal girl or a boy approach you, you will see that you will feel like, what the hell, like I do not like you. Like, you know, internally you feel like I want someone who could have very high standard, right? Because Sun is your Darakaraka, that is what it's like from inside. It is trying to say to you that I want someone that like naturally you will feel that I want someone who could have high status, some kind of a thing in their life. Okay, so that is the first thing you will see with Sun becoming Darakaraka. If Sun become your Darakaraka planet or DK planet, then you will see that you will for sure get someone as your partner or as your spouse or as your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you would like to say, a person who will dominate you. Okay, your partner, you will actually with Darakaraka Sun, you will attract a partner or a spouse who will dominate you in relationship. Now before I tell you more about your Darakaraka, I want to tell you I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance because I'm giving massive % discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. Okay? And they will for sure influence you, right? By their choices. So let's say for an example, you have Darakaraka Sun and you married to a girl or a boy and you wants to go into, let's say, you know, Tim Hortons to get coffee, just for an example. So they will like, no, we will not go into Tim Hortons, we will go into Starbucks. And then you are like, why? We can drink from Tim Hortons or any other place. They are like, no, we will only drink on the Starbucks. So that is the kind of a partner. I'm just giving you an example. Their choice, they will always try to influence you in your relationship. Your partner choice matter a lot, and then you know probably some little bit of kind of a small argument happen, and then you are like, okay, whatever you say, let's do it. Okay, just okay. So that's the kind of a partner you will attract with this. You see that when Darakaraka becomes Sun, you will see mostly such people get married to someone, or I can say form relationship with someone who will for sure have high status, or even like let's say you are in countries where there is a caste system, like for an example India, you may wants to get married to someone who could be higher caste. Okay, because you want, like when Sun become your Darakaraka, you wants to be in relationship with someone who can rise your status. Okay, but of course if for marrying to other caste, higher caste, for that Rahu will play his role as well, and 7th lord. Why? Because Rahu will try to break you like this system that I want to marry in different caste, and at the same time 9th lord must also be afflicted for getting to someone of different caste or different religion. That can be seen. But with Sun Darakaraka, regardless of your country or religion, you may wants to get married, like you will for sure wants to get married, or you will somehow forced to get married or form relationship with someone who will have high status. Like for an example, someone who could be very like their career could be very good, they could be some sort of officer or someone at high position, they could be financially well off in comparison to you, they could be rich person as well, or they could be someone who could be well known in your society. So that can be seen, right, with Darakaraka sun. You will see that there is almost, I would say, always a thought in your mind. If your Darakaraka is sun, you will always have a thought in your mind, constantly running back of the mind, I can say, that I want a partner after marrying to which my prestige rises, my reputation in society rises. That is the kind of a mentality this Darakaraka will give you. Okay, you will see for sure. Because see, Darakaraka, when becoming your like lowest degree planet, sorry, when sun become your Darakaraka lowest degree planet, so with sun Darakaraka, you will definitely have this thought that I want to get married to someone. Constantly this thought running in back of mind that I want to get married to someone after marrying to which my like my prestige increases in society. Everyone will discuss, oh my god, look at this guy, her wife is, look at this guy, his wife is that person, look at this girl, she is the wife of that particular person who is very, so that is the kind of a thoughts that continuously running in such people mind who have sun as their Darakaraka, right? Naturally you will see that. Also you will see that even if you see this Darakaraka influence your personality so much that even if you are planning to be in relationship with someone, and let's say you are talking to a boy or a girl, you are trying to date them, so naturally you will see that somehow subconsciously you will try to figure this out, if this girl, dating to this girl or like spending time with her can raise my status, will people see me as a high person or something like that, because sun is very like playing an important role here. So you will see rise in status kind of a thing is first priority for such people who have Darakaraka as their sun. Okay, so you will see, like for an example, a businessman is there, so if he has a Darakaraka sun, so he will think probably I should get married to that actress so that my fame get increases, my prestige, my honor, or like everyone will know me that he's the husband of this particular person. Like they wants to use that thing, like their spouse as a like a tool to get that upliftment. And let's say opposite, like for an example, there's a girl who is like an probably actress or let's say influencer, so she would like to get married to someone who could be again influential person, influential man, by marrying to that person that like she can just show off that, hey, my husband is this particular person, I have this thing and that thing. So you will see that is the kind of a mentality this Darakaraka will give you. So in a nutshell, first thing you understand, when Darakaraka becomes sun, prestige and fame become very important for the person. They for sure, whether they tell it or not, subconsciously they wants to get married to someone, or they want to form relationship with someone, or they wants to have a spouse whom with their prestige, honor, reputation increases, their fame increases. Okay, now if in reality that fame increase to a great extent or not, that depends upon overall your chart. For that, horoscope consultation is required. Link are given in the description. Okay, links are given in the description. Now see, when Darakaraka become sun, you will also see one thing. Disrespecting your spouse can become the abortion of your relationship, right? I'm repeating again. Disrespecting your spouse can become the abortion of your relationship. Why? Because when sun become Darakaraka, your spouse hated that you just try to disrespect them, or they get triggered a lot with such thing. Okay, they likes to get praised, okay, and they hate being criticized. That is why their ego get hurt when your sun is Darakaraka and you are just trying to tell them, hey, you have this problem. Their ego gets hurt so high that they will blast and they will roar like a lion, right? Because with sun. So yeah, that you will also see. Also I have seen that if you have sun as your Darakaraka planet, then you may want to marry someone if your Darakaraka is Sun, then my advice is that when you are planning to get married to someone, first spend some time with your partner and try to talk to them about different topics. Like for an example, who should be the king, king, not king actually, with Sun, king is coming off my mouth. Nowadays with democracy, who should be the prime minister, who should be the president of the country, such kind of a topics, like where there could be a lot of differences, if you can see like if there is a differences or not. Like for an example, let's say you are supporting one political party and your partner is supporting another political party, and when you guys are discussing the pros and cons, and you will see that how the person react, right? So in that way, try to discuss such kind of a thing, try to discuss religion, such sensitive type of topic, just try to discuss with them. And if you see that your thinking are matching somehow, only then you should get married to the person. If you find that no, my thinking is not matching, she is supporting totally another political party and I am other, and we are having a lot of difference of opinion, you should not get married to that person, especially when Sun become your Darakaraka. Why? Because if there is such differences after getting married, she will never accept your opinions and she will try to overpower you, so you might feel frustrated. That could end up in breakup of relationship. So my advice for you, if your Sun is Darakaraka, to spend time with your spouse, at least days, weeks, months, as long as you can, and try to discuss different topics, especially things like this, the major topics like who should be, like where there is a chances of knowing their personality, right? So in that way you can understand that okay, if things are matching more or less 70-80%, then you can go ahead in that relationship. So this is like a good way, I would say, to find out, discuss different topics like religion, authority, or such thing, whatever you find, as per to know about their personality more. Okay. Also you see that with also feel that with Sun is the Darakaraka, you may you may feel that you wants to have someone who is I would like to say that when Sun become your Darakaraka, you will for sure get a partner who will have Sun-like quality, like having proper profession, moral value, such thing can be possible, or you may at least feel like that. But of course, like with Sun Darakaraka, you will more or less see these things in your partner. Especially with Sun Darakaraka, you will see your spouse can be someone who could be very independent, right? Independence is like everything for such people. Such people can be so independent that whether they would not like to do job under someone, or even if they do job, they wants to do a job in which they can be an authority, like becoming a good level of executive, C-level executive at some like companies, private stuff, or like even in government at some authority position, or let's say for an example, they are a manager of a branch in which they are the head. So that is the kind of thing generally you can expect. And even in some, also in some authoritative position can be expected, right? And also I have seen with Sun becoming Darakaraka, it can also talk that maybe your spouse can be someone who could do their independent profession, right? The entrepreneur kind of a stuff can be expected. And even if let's say your Sun is a Darakaraka and your spouse will be a housewife, okay, then in that case you may also see that their father could be very influential person, probably head of something or something like that. That can also be possible with this Darakaraka Sun. Okay. Also you will see that with Darakaraka Sun, you will see that you will attract a partner who can reach very high position, okay, or at least who will have potential. In fact, with Darakaraka Sun, it may possible that in comparison to other people, they can reach high position at comparatively younger age in comparison to other people. That can also be seen with Sun Darakaraka, right? You will also see that if let's say some other combinations are also present in your chart, then your spouse could also be someone with Sun Darakaraka. Your spouse could also be someone who could be working at your workplace at some authoritative position. Like for an example, if let's say other combination are present in your chart, that you will meet your spouse at your workplace or something like that, then you can also in some time get married to someone who could be your boss in your office. That kind of a chances can also be possible in some cases, right? Rare cases, I would say, because for that other combination should also be present. Also, you will see that if, let's say, other malefics are influencing this sun in your chart, and sun is your Darakaraka, then you will see in extreme cases your spouse can also act like a dictator. Like, whatever I said is the truth, you must have to accept it. If I am telling you that we will sleep in this room, so we will sleep in this room, right? I am the dictator. That is the kind of a spouse you will expect if sun is in highly malefic influence. Okay, so yeah, that can also be seen with Darakaraka sun. If, let's say, sun have benefic influence in your chart and sun is becoming Darakaraka, then of course your spouse could be someone who could be adjusting and bit like intelligent, having wisdom more. Okay, right? So that can be seen. And malefic, I already told you. Also, like sun is the Darakaraka, of course, you know, sun is an attention seeking planet, so naturally wherever sun goes, like, it's like where our attention is there. So your spouse will be an attention seeking kind of a partner you will get with sun Darakaraka. You will see that. And or I can say that wherever they go, naturally they have this ability to draw attention towards them. Okay, there's some ability inside them. Also, sun can also give your spouse outgoing type of personality when sun becomes Darakaraka, right? That can be seen. Also, sun Darakaraka, it is also, like, I have also seen that can give you a partner who can be a kid lover, because you should understand the sun rule the 5th house in the Kalpurusha Kundli, which represent your children, right? Which represent, of course, children. So with sun Darakaraka, your spouse may love children. That can also be seen. Sun Darakaraka can also give you a partner who can have sun in the 1st house, or who could be Leo ascendant, or sun, probably moon is placed in their Leo sign. That can also be seen. Or some other prominent position of sun can also be seen with sun becoming Darakaraka in your partner chart. Or if, let's say, probably ascendant in the sun nakshatras, that can also be seen, right? So prominent or like exaltation of sun looking at the ascendant, such things can be seen when sun becomes Darakaraka. What I am telling you, if you find a partner like your sun is Darakaraka and you find a partner who have this sun prominent thing in their chart, then that could be ideal partner for you. That can also be seen, right? Now, sometimes it is also seen that sun, when become your Darakaraka planet, it can give you a partner whose quality can be probably match with your father, right? That can also be seen, right? Sometimes sun Darakaraka, I have also seen that many times if other combinations are also present in your partner chart, then sun Darakaraka can also talk about someone who is a pioneer. Okay, pioneer of something, like starting something, doing some new stuff. That can also be possible, which will take them towards entrepreneurship. So yeah, in some cases that can also be expected when sun Darakaraka. Sun when become Darakaraka in your chart, then or like sun as the DK planet, can also give you a spouse who can be like center of the stage. Wherever they go, they naturally like draw that attention. Okay, a very authoritative, a very proud type of spouse you will get with sun becoming Darakaraka. Sun Darakaraka can even give you a person who could be a go-getter, okay, who would love to take decision. Like, you are discussing something, they are like, no, we will go there and we will do this, right? That's like, sun like king like qualities. So that can be possible. And many times you see your spouse will be the decision maker in your home, like she is the boss or he is the boss. That's the kind of a thing you can expect with sun Darakaraka. And many times you have to be just like say yes also, because for saving relationships sometime, because definitely there will be some ego and authority in your spouse when sun become Darakaraka. Also, what I have seen that when spouse like with sun in the Darakaraka, when sun becomes your Darakaraka, spouse definitely hate it, or I would like to tell you, do not like to listen against their own family. Let's say you do not like something about your in-laws, they are doing something that you don't like, and you try to tell them, they literally act so badly, your spouse, and especially she would not like to, or he would not like to listen against their father, mother, with especially the sun as the Darakaraka. You will definitely notice this thing, that they hate listening against their parents or family, because you should understand, like, you know, she will or he will come like a lion, right, and try to fight you if you just try to, like, even if their parents is doing something wrong and you try to tell them, their first reaction could be very impulsive with this. You will see that, because sun becoming your Darakaraka is like he or she do not wants to listen against their kingdom, which is like their family, you know. So that is what I'm trying to tell you. So if you want to say something about their family which is not good, so it is expected that their first reaction could be very impulsive. So yeah, try to explain them by you know, in a Jupiter way, I would say, if you want to explain something like that, like a teacher, slowly, so that they can understand, because they could act very impulsively, especially when you talk about their family, some negative stuff. So, you know, also sun becoming Darakaraka can give you a spouse who could be very much attached to their culture. As I told you, they do not like to listen against their family. They also attach to their family a lot, their culture. Okay. Even if this person, let's say your spouse, even if you have combination to get married to a foreigner, even if your spouse is a foreigner of different caste culture, still they will be, even after getting married, they will love their culture. They will still be very protective about that. So you can also see that. Sun Darakaraka will definitely give you ego clashes with your spouse. For sure, she or he will try to dominate you. In fact, they will dominate you. You will get dominated in the relationship. Because sun you get Darakaraka, it means simply in your past life, you have overpowered your spouse a lot, and he or she will be like, you know, you will be the boss, and you just very like overpowered them. So in this life it's opposite, right? You have to get dominated in this life, so you have to deal wisely sometime, you know. So that's my advice here. Darakaraka when becomes sun, so sometimes it can also give you a self-centered type spouse in some cases, right, who just want to achieve things in the career and want to be in the top, right? So that you know, if that's the kind of a trait, and if it's going worst way, it's giving narcissistic type of personality, or especially self-obsessed type of personality kind of a person you are getting, then you need to of course discuss them that, hey, we need to go grow together in relationship. It's not like this you are just discussing about yourself. So yeah, that's my advice is, but generally it happen in worst cases, but still I'm telling you. Now if your sun is in, let's say, fixed sign in your chart, then you will see that you will get a spouse who could be very rigid. My god, they will not try to change their decision. They are like, no, I have taken this decision that we will buy this house, so we will buy this house, right? Whatever I said, you have to do it. That is the kind of a partner you should expect if you have sun in the fixed signs and sun is your Darakaraka. But if, let's say, sun is in movable sign or in dual sign, then yes, they can sometime, they still try to resist. They still try to say that no, we will do it. But when you just try to explain the situation, slowly try to make them understand, they will understand and change their decision. If your sun Darakaraka is in dual sign or movable sign, but especially if it's in fixed sign, then they will be very rigid. It's really hard for you to change their decision, right? Sun as a Darakaraka also signifies someone who is a very kingly person, who loves to create their own path. Okay, a very self-charged type personality can be expected. Okay, if let's say sun is well placed in your chart, so, and sun is your Darakaraka and it's well placed in your chart, so after getting married, you will see that your fame increases in your society, your status increases in your society. Even for some people who are working in field of social media, etc., probably after getting married, you will see that you become famous, like your subscriber will increase. Like for an example, you will see that. Even if let's say you are struggling actor, probably after getting married, you see some people get lot of success. So that can be possible, right? And even if you are a normal person, you will see in society people start to recognize you. Oh, this is the person, right? Even I have seen when sun become Darakaraka, it's well placed. So such person, like once they get married, people start to recognize them due to your spouse, because let's say like, hey, this man or this girl get married to that particular person's daughter, or because they can get married to someone's daughter or son who is influential. So in that way people start to recognize them, their network circle increases. I have seen all this stuff also with sun becoming Darakaraka. You will see sun Darakaraka will give your spouse a tremendous courage, right? A tremendous courage and leadership qualities naturally inside them can be expected. Sun Darakaraka can give your spouse abilities to work in big organization, okay, and a very high authoritative position, whether in government or in private sector. Both can be possible, okay. Sun Darakaraka is also telling us that your spouse will have royal taste, okay, royal regal kind of a thing, especially when sun somehow connect with the Venus also, then it can also give them a a royal and regal kind of a taste, right? So that can be possible. Also sun becoming Darakaraka in your chart, you will see that with sun Darakaraka, your spouse will literally hate it if someone try to criticize them. They hate it, right? And if you try to criticize them in front of their face, then you will see their different face. So yeah, also you will see your spouse could be someone who would love to spend a lot of money, and that's really a negative thing, I would say, here when sun become Darakaraka. Although that is spent in some cases can also be on charity, because when a king is there, so charity is expected, so they can also do a lot of charity, helping people. Or that is spent could be on royal thing, like for an example, hey, I would like to buy this sofa, which is like a kingly sofa. It's so expensive, but it doesn't matter, it's like kingly, we feel like king. So that kind of a thing can also be expected. You will see that when your Darakaraka is a sun, your spouse wants a lot of respect, and even she or he wants to be head of some organization. In such case, if your Darakaraka is in sun, even I have seen that, let's say your Darakaraka is sun and your spouse is will be someone that someone is telling them to give certain amount of money for charity in some organization, and they can become head of that. So they can give that money, right? And they can become head of some organization, even some charitable organization, by giving even charity, right? So that can also be expected. If sun is the Darakaraka and it's well placed in your chart, then definitely after getting married, tremendous growth can be expected in overall your life, career, etc. You will also see, even I have seen people who have sun Darakaraka well placed in their chart, after getting married, they even get government jobs, gaining promotions in their career, reaching at the high positions in their career. I've also seen all these stuff, but of course sun have to be well placed in your chart. So if you praise your spouse, they love it with sun as the Darakaraka, right? Sun Darakaraka, you will also see one special thing, that when your spouse need help, they will not ask for help from anyone, because sun is the king. Sun likes to provide help, do not wants to get help. So they feel like death like kind of a feeling if they are asking for help from someone. Like they can, let's say someone need their car, they're like, okay, you can take it. Someone need their bike, okay, you can take it. But when they need due to some emergency, they feel horrible to ask, and they try to avoid 99.99% to ask anyone about anything. You will see that. So yeah, because that's what your Darakaraka sun is telling me. So if you see that your Darakaraka is sun, so it is like you should understand this fact that you should help your spouse whenever you feel that she needed or he needed, because they may not tell you, because of this sun nature. So that can be seen. Also, when sun become Darakaraka, you see your spouse may have a lot of money spending habit. So it's really a great idea for you to teach them to how to spend wisely, or try to restrict their expenses, right? Try to discuss these things with them, because they just spend a lot of money unnecessarily also. You will also see that I've seen when sun become Darakaraka, this even leads to a marriage, which will uplift the status of your family, right? Like for an example, let's say there is a girl who have sun is a Darakaraka, and it may possible that that girl father find a boy who is from a very rich or prestigious family, and that father force the girl to get married to a boy because he is very well settled from a very good family. Like boy father could be famous, or boy man could be famous, whom which this man wants to this father wants to marry her daughter, so marry his daughter. So yeah, that can be seen, like a girl probably, or a boy, even if a boy or a girl who have this combination like sun as the Darakaraka. So you may your father may or mother like family somehow try to force you to get married to someone who could be very rich, prestigious or something like that, right? And in many cases it will lead you to arrange a type of marriage scenario. Now of course, if other combinations are also present, then it can be love marriage as well, or love come arranged marriage. Like for an example, your father knows someone who could be a very influential person, and you just travel with your father to that person's house, and somehow you meet like your father, like you meet the person's son or daughter, and you guys hang out and you like each other, and then you guys just get married. So in that way status also increases, but little bit love or understanding is also there. So that can also be possible with this sun as Darakaraka. Also you will see that when sun becomes your Darakaraka, you yourself may like to show off once you get married, right? And you see some people who may post pictures on Instagram, etc. Now even though sun become Darakaraka, it may possible that you likes to click picture with your spouse and post on social media like, hey, this is my spouse, right? So like for an example, let's say a girl having a Darakaraka married to a rich or like famous sports celebrity, and she's posting like, hey, this is my person. So yeah, that can also possible, right? For men also it could possible, they could marry someone like, so that can also be possible. So I'm just telling you now, even though this can give you disputes, argument because of ego of your spouse internally, but outside, like you just try to show that we are the best couple and people get jealous, although inside some different stories going on. So that can also be expected sometime, right? I have also seen when sun becomes Darakaraka, this can even give you in-laws who could be very influential, right? Like for an example, such men could get married to a daughter of a man who could be a like let's say you have a Darakaraka sun, so you could get married to a daughter of a person who could be like, let's say, some local politician of a city or certain area, or let's say a head of some village or some authoritative position in government. That kind of a thing could also be, I have seen with sun becoming Darakaraka. Your father-in-law could be influential person, or probably your spouse could themselves be influential. But generally sun become Darakaraka can also give you in-laws who could have good reputation, like in society, or sometimes powerful people also. Okay, so yeah, even in government they could know some, like they have links, that can also be possible in some cases. So yeah, influential in-laws can also be expected with this. I would like to recommend, if you have sun Darakaraka, is give your spouse a rose on the Sunday. Okay, because Sunday is the sun period, like Sunday, of course, the planet Sunday is Sunday. So on that day you give Venus thing, which is rose, to your spouse. So that will be really helpful to just for your relationship, I would like to tell you. Now when sun become Darakaraka, there will be good moment, there will be bad moments as well, with heat and arguments. So my advice is just try to address those issues when there's like time is not good, you guys are arguing, and try to solve them, right? And try to understand that with Darakaraka sun, you are most likely to get someone who could be very dominating and overpowering. So you should try to be sometime relax and try to deal the situation very wisely, because your Dharakaraka is Sun. So you should understand this fact. So yeah, this is all about your Sun.
Now guys, I would like to tell you before you move forward, you can directly take consultation from us. We have created a website now. It's so simple. You can go there, link in description and the comment section below. You can just click there and just click of a button, you can just simply purchase directly consultation from us as the instruction are given on the website, and then we will just help you out in the consultation. Okay guys, so for that, links are in comment section and description. You can purchase consultation also.
Now let's talk about Mercury as your Darakaraka planet or as a DK planet. So when Mercury become your Darakaraka planet, what is going to happen? See, Mercury as a Darakaraka, first of all, it is very clear that it is going to give you a spouse who will be very intelligent, a witty, right? Intelligent, witty, and a fun-loving type of partner. That is the first thing for sure you can expect, right? With Mercury as a Darakaraka planet. Then Mercury as a Darakaraka, or we can say in short as a DK planet, it can also give you a spouse, who will love to have, like, see, for them fun is really important in relationship. So you have to make sure that, like, joking, laughing, having some fun factor in relationship, you must have to make sure that that should be there, right? Also with Mercury Darakaraka, communication, talking to them, and I would say for them, like for your partner, when your Darakaraka is Mercury, communication, talking, sharing their opinion about almost everything, like they are seeing some match or, like, for an example, news, and they are just sharing their opinion with you, talking. So that kind of a thing, sometimes like a child, like a child watch things, ask you questions, share his thought, that kind of a thing can be expected. You will get a partner who could be very curious, okay, and may ask you a lot of question, right? When Mercury become Darakaraka. With Mercury Darakaraka, your spouse will be very inquisitive and talkative, okay. Sometimes they could be so much talkative, right? You may think about their questions and their whatever they said, and you just laugh like, oh, what the hell, in a funny way. You understand what I mean? So yeah, so that the kind of a partner you can expect. Now see, it also talk about partner who could be very, people think it's like younger spouse. Now it's not necessary younger, right? When Mercury you become your Darakaraka, you can even get married to someone who could be some months or a couple of years older in some cases, right? But it can be younger as well. But Mercury as a Darakaraka does not necessarily mean that you can only marry a person who could be younger than you, okay. It actually means someone who could be very youthful. Probably they can be any age, but they look very young in comparison to their age. Whenever people see, they're like, oh my god, you don't look like you are 28, or you don't look like you are 25. So that can be seen, right? What I'm just trying to tell you. So they always look 5 or 10 years or some years younger than their age. This is the factor that is seen in Mercury Darakaraka. Also you will see they will have youthful type of personality, right, with Mercury Darakaraka. But of course, Mercury as a Darakarak can also give you a person who could be very young than you. You see, there are certain women who are in relationship with younger boys who are probably, you see some stories who have their boyfriend as 10 years younger. Even some people like Leonardo DiCaprio, who have for an example, who always loved only to date younger girls. So such people could also have Mercury Darakaraka, right? That can be possible. Even this could give you obsession to date only younger partners, which could be many year, 10 year, 15 year younger than you. This can also, this Darakaraka Mercury can also give you that kind of a tendencies. So yeah, so although it can give you young partner, but for everyone it is not guaranteed. At least there will be some sort of youthful appearance, some sort of youthful nature can be expected in your spouse when Mercury becomes Darakaraka. Now, before I tell you more about your Darakaraka, I want to tell you I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance because I'm giving massive percent discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. So you will see that if Mercury become your Darakaraka planet, then you may sometimes feel like you are married to a kid, right? Or you are in relationship with a kid, because sometimes your partner literally behave like a kid, because Mercury represent a person who is like a prince, who is like a kid, who is like a princess, like younger one. So yeah, that can be seen like a kid behavior, a fun behavior can be seen many times in your partner if your Mercury is Darakaraka. Now of course, if Saturn is aspecting this Mercury or other planets are playing their role, then they could little bit change. Then their communication can be sometime very serious as well. But still, this Mercury nature can still be exist there. Like if you are a female and you have Mercury Darakaraka, then it will give you a partner, a husband who could be less mature probably. That can be seen. But if let's say you are a man and you have Mercury Darakaraka, then it is seen that in that case, like you will get a girl or you will get a spouse, a female who could be very clever, very intelligent, right? That can be seen. Although yes, you like as a remedy, it's really a great idea to give her like a I would say princess kind of a treatment. That could be really helpful in your relationship, okay? Because they need continuous stimulation. So in that way, if you treat like sometime you just give her a princess kind of a treatment, especially probably on Wednesday, right? Something that is like that can stimulate their mind, so they may feel really happy with that. So yeah, when Mercury become Darakaraka, so it is also seen like I would say, as per my research, that your partner need continuous stimulation of their mind, like intellectual talking, such kind of a stuff is really important for them. They may get bored easily, so you have to do different stuff that can engage their mind. That can also be seen, right? So yeah, also Mercury Darakaraka, it is also seen that your spouse may likes to do things which could be difficult, right? If something is there like easily they get it, they might get bored with that. But if some challenges are there in something, they just like that, definitely, because that continuously make their brain like engage in some stuff. That's really good here, right? Now here I can recommend that is Mercury is your Darakaraka. Then you should always focus on talking and spending time with your spouse. Especially communication is really important in relationship. When Mercury becomes Darakaraka, every single day spend some time, probably 20 minutes, 30 minutes dedicated to talk to your spouse. Talk about their day, what happened today, because that thing is really important for them. You should understand the fact, right? So yeah, also you should understand this thing. When Mercury becomes Darakaraka, one important thing is that to try to become like a friend with your spouse. Although generally Mercury in Darakaraka is like a friendly type of relationship you will get, but still this is like a natural thing to try to, if you are not thinking about that, think about that. You should become a friend to your spouse, where it is very open, everything is very open between you guys. You guys can literally talk about your affairs in the past. Such things can also be seen, like any random stuff that normal couple might not talk, because here the things become very open with each other, right? Communication in any form is really important when Mercury becomes Darakaraka. You should also always remember that Mercury as a Darakaraka can also give you a spouse who could be very extrovert, right? Who speak a lot, I would say. Sometimes they literally speak like so much, right? Continuously speaking and just so like a kid. Sometimes you feel like, whoa, what's going on here? So yeah, but yeah, until unless like Saturn is aspecting Mercury, because see, Saturn aspect Mercury give it like a maturity factor, right? So what happens is that there can be still like some time communication, but if Saturn aspect Mercury in your chart, then you may get a spouse who could be a little bit their communication make a lot of sense, like very mature kind of a communication you can expect with Saturn, because Saturn aspect on Mercury show maturity, right? If Saturn is aspecting, by the way, Mercury in your chart, it may possible that in your early ages when you were a kid, you were not able to speak properly or you were shy about it. But as soon as when your age grows, right, then you start to feel that I am good in communication, especially if you are a Gemini ascendant, or so you will see, even if you are not Gemini, communication at early age for you might not be good, but as long as with time, as the time pass, so you will see that your communication is improving, right? In your 20s you start to communicate better, and with time you will start to feel like, yes, like you are good at communication. That can also be seen for you. When Darakaraka become Mercury, it may also possible that your spouse could be very business minded, right? So see, when Darakaraka become Mercury, it is also possible that you may get a partner or a spouse or a girlfriend or a boyfriend who would like to have some space also sometime, right? In relationships. Sometimes they want to act like a casual relationship, right? So that can also possible, because Mercury when Darakaraka, so spouse is kind of like a friend more, right? Than a serious, like they may not like serious stuff, right? In relationship, they try to keep things like casual, etc. So yeah, that can be expected. So with this, it may feel like although you guys are married, but still you may feel sometime that you are just living with your friend, even though you are married. So that can be expected with Darakaraka Mercury. It may also possible that your spouse speak a lot, right? And you may speak very less, because Mercury becoming your lowest degree planet, you are more like internally, you are more like the highest degree planet in your chart, which is called as Atmakarak. It is your Dharakaraka Mercury. So when Mercury become your Dharakaraka, it may also possible that you speak less probably, right? And your spouse speak a lot, right? So sometime there could be some disagreement with that. But again, if let's say you have Mercury Dharakaraka and you are a Gemini ascendant, so Gemini ascendant naturally speak a lot, and when Mercury become Darakaraka, so their spouse will also speak. So it's like a equal type of relationship. In that case, probably you will get someone who is kind of like you with that kind of a special placement. So yeah, and with Darakaraka becoming Mercury or DK planet Mercury, it is also possible that you get a spouse who can manage your finances very well, right? Sometimes Mercury, if you have a Mercury Darakaraka in your chart, sometime it can give you a tendency that you become careless about the spouse, these finances. So in that case, your spouse is the one who is going to help you in your finances. That is also seen, like I've seen that as also I've seen with Mercury become your Darakaraka or DK planet. So you may get a spouse whose hobbies can be matching with you. That can be possible, that you guys may have similar hobbies, like probably you guys love to travel and you guys love to do road trips together. So such kind of a thing could also possible. In fact, in many times the relationship, this relationship can even start with the communication or having similar hobbies. So that could also possible when you have Mercury Dharakaraka. Mercury as a Dharakaraka, it may also possible that you can meet your partner through a mode of probably communication, like for an example on a messaging app like WhatsApp or Telegram, or probably any social media like Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, anything, right? So that could also possible. And especially I've also seen when Mercury become Darakaraka, this I've seen people meeting on these apps, what you call this communication learning app. There are certain apps nowadays in which you can learn languages. People from different culture, different countries join those apps, and you can learn Russian, you can learn Japanese, you can learn English, you can learn French, German, Portuguese, any language you can learn. That can also be possible that you could meet, you could learn some language like English, Hindi, right? And you guys could just you message someone and you guys started talking each other languages, learning, and then you guys can become friends, and down the line you decide to meet, and then you become friend, and then you guys get married. That can also be possible, because I have seen those cases also as well with Mercury become Darakaraka. Also Mercury and Darakaraka when become, it can give you a spouse who help you, right, in increasing your social skills, in increasing your finances. You will also see this. You will also see that when Mercury become your Darakaraka, so your spouse will have prominent position of Mercury in their chart. Like for an example, Mercury can be placed in their ascendant in the first house. Mercury, they can be Gemini ascendant or Virgo ascendant. Their moon can also be in Gemini, Virgo. As Mercury nakshatras are there prominently placed in the chart, or even I would say their sun or moon can also be placed into the Mercury navamsa, right? That can also be seen, right? Somehow Mercury related influence is strong in their chart. That can also be seen with Mercury becoming your Darakaraka. Now see, with Mercury Darakaraka, your spouse need definitely some sort of continuously, something is there, because they can't stick like on one thing. So they likes to do changes they love, because that's what Mercury nature is. Like one time they are doing this thing, after a few days they are like, I'm getting bored, I need to try new things. And they could also be sometimes very unpredictable, right? So that can also be expected here. One advice for you is that if you have like Mercury Darakaraka, probably taking to them on new adventures, right? After probably every few months, or couple of times in a year is really a great idea, so that their desire for exploring and new things can be fulfilled. It may also seem that your spouse with Mercury Darakaraka would love to do things which are very creative, okay? Something which are fun loving and fancy could also be possible. Like for an example, I would say you are just trying to take them on some restaurant to eat food or on a date. So you should try to do them something different, something which is a bit crazy, but also fancy, fun loving, something different. So they just like it, that's what Mercury nature is. Sometime you may feel like it's really difficult to understand your spouse mind, what they are like, because Mercury is a very different kind of a thing. So with Mercury Darakaraka, your person, sometime they are just behaving in certain way, then in a different way. But regardless of everything, communication is your main thing. You will see that, right? And also, interest of your spouse can be very changing. Like, so that can also be seen. Mercury Darakaraka will also say that, I would say that your spouse will get influenced a lot by your surrounding, right? Where like the neighbors you have, the areas you guys live in, their surrounding impact a lot, right? So because Mercury has this changing nature, like Mercury become adaptable as the planet it gets surrounding, due to which you need to be really careful, like the surrounding that you guys live, especially when you have Mercury, right, as your Darakaraka. So you need to take care of that. If let's say you like to live a certain kind of a life, then try to have that kind of a surrounding near your spouse. That will be really helpful. It may also possible with Mercury Darakaraka, your spouse may love to watch some podcasts, some debates, right? Or probably they may like reading books. That can also be seen. Mercury, let's say Darakaraka, and it is placed in the fixed sign in your chart, then your spouse can also be very stubborn, okay? Sometime, like for an example, I would say childish stubborn, you can say, right? Because Mercury Darakaraka can also, like for an example, a child want a toy, and that child just, like you are saying that it's not good, they're like, no, I want it, they just do anything to just get it. So sometime if Mercury is placed in the fixed sign in your chart, then you may get a spouse who could be very stubborn sometime, right? And if let's say this like Mercury in your chart could be placed in dual sign, right, or in movable sign, then they could be a bit flexible, right? That can be seen. Sometimes Mercury Darakaraka can also give you a spouse who have a fault finding type of tendency. Like for an example, you see there are certain persons who have the habit of continuously saying, hey, why you put it here, why you did this, why you did that, why you didn't ask me, you did this wrong, you did this, that. So that kind of a tendency can also be seen sometimes, right? Not necessary, but sometime I've also seen this. So you need to be a little bit manageable regarding that. But generally Mercury as a Darakaraka is a good thing, because you get kind of a very surprising and a friendly type of partner, Many time if you have Mercury Dharakaraka, it is also seen that there is a very high possibility that you can get married to a friend, right? Like for an example, one day you met a girl or a boy somehow, you started talking to her or him, and then you guys start talking and talking, and you guys like each other talking, and you become friend, and you just talk each other. Sometime you guys talk probably once in a week or few days, and you guys message each other. Sometime you guys call, and this talking goes on for few years, and then one day you guys never thought about it, but one day you thought like, we like each other, why don't we get married? So that could also possible, you guys end up in getting married. So that could also possible with Mercury Darakaraka, right? Darakaraka Mercury can also give you a spouse who can be good in analyzing things. They can be a good analyst, right? Also, it may also possible that let's say you are buying something and you bought something for them or for home, for an example. So they are like, whoa, why you did like buy it directly? We should first do analysis where we get the best deal, like the best price and the best quality, we should buy that. So that kind of a nature can also be seen with Mercury Darakaraka. Mercury Darakaraka, one more thing I've seen, that once you get married, there is a very high possibility that you, with the help of your spouse, right, you may start something new, some new venture, some new business or some new work, right? Like they may just somehow like this could possible that there could be change in the life and you could start some new profession, new work, new business. That can also possible Mercury Darakaraka, and you will get a spouse who would be very helping towards you, right? And let's say for an example, you have some dreams, some idea that I want to do something. So with the help of your spouse, you can complete those wishes, those dreams, right? To start some business and to do some business. That could also possible, right? With Mercury Darakaraka. So overall, Mercury Darakaraka will give you a helping type of spouse. One special thing, you know, you will see when Mercury become Darakaraka, you should ask your spouse, they will have at least, like I would say, one thing happen in their life, one strong thing, one major thing that had completely transformed their life. Like for an example, you know, this is really a great idea. If you see that they, like for an example, they had such a heartbreak, such a terrible heartbreak that impacted their life a lot, and probably 1 to 3 years of their life they get stuck in that due to those feelings, and then they change their life and they become a completely new human being, right? And then they learn a lot and grow out of it. So such kind of a trauma, mental trauma could be possible. Why? Because if you understand this with that story of planet Mercury, Mercury was the illegitimate child of the Jupiter's wife, right? And moon's illicit relations of moon with the Jupiter wife. So Mercury had this trauma. When Mercury grew up, he came to know that he is an illegitimate child. He hated that. He had that mental trauma. After that, Mercury went and prayed to the Lord Shiva, and like a long story, I will explain that in some other video. So that's how he became like such a important planet here. So due to which you will see, if Mercury is your Darakaraka and your spouse, there will be an event due to which they have like major transformation in their life after having some like problem or trauma in their life, some major problem. So that can be expected. In fact, it's really a great idea to check if your Mercury Darakaraka. You should ask your spouse like, hey, like if you are just liking a girl or a boy, ask like, hey, there's something serious happen in your past you would like to share. And when Mercury is your Darakaraka and that is the right person for you, they will share with you because it's like a friendly relation. So yeah, you will came to know about that, right? So yeah, and you can relate this with the Mercury story if you know, right? As I told you. So yeah, these are the things generally you see with Mercury as your Darakaraka, right? These things can be seen. So generally Mercury as a Darakaraka is a good planet, having like a friendly, communicating type of spouse who could have changing nature, sometimes kid kind of a nature. Overall, very youthful type of spouse can be possible, but of course the full horoscope consultation is required to see the big picture. Link.
Now guys, I would like to tell you before you move forward, you can directly take consultation from us. We have created a website now. It's so simple. You can go there, link in description and the comment section below. You can just click there and just click of a button, you can just simply purchase directly consultation from us as the instruction are given on the website, and then we will just help you out in the consultation. Okay guys, so for that, links are in comment section and description. You can purchase consultation also.
Now what if moon become your Darakarak? If moon become your Darakaraka planet, then you should expect that you will get a spouse who would be very sensitive and emotional person. Now these things are there. It doesn't even matter if moon is good placed, well placed, horrible placed, perfectly placed, right? Even if any placement of moon, you will expect emotions and sensitiveness is going to be there in your spouse for sure. There extreme or lowness can be there, depending upon the placement of moon, but they will for sure some sort of emotional and sensitive nature can be seen. Okay, this is what should you expect first of all with moon Darakaraka. Then you will see that moon, when you become your Darakaraka, when moon become your Darakaraka, if let's say someday you become angry and you try to shout on your spouse like, hey, why you doing this, and like this, something like that. If let's say you are angry sometime and by mistake you did that, for an example, you will see that literally your spouse will have tear in their eyes, right? They will literally feel emotionally very bad with such behavior, because moon Darakaraka will give you a spouse definitely even on small things, tears on their eyes can be expected, right? So yeah, so if you have moon Darakaraka, get ready for such situation. If you do such behavior, then you have to get ready to then try to say sorry in a different way, because they start crying literally, because they could be a very soft person with moon Darakaraka inside their heart. So when you behave sometime bad, then your spouse will literally cry with this. Now, before I tell you more about your Darakaraka, I want to tell you I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance, because I'm giving massive % discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. Even I've seen moon Darakaraka, even if you are a girl and you get a man and you have fight, probably he feel emotionally bad, so he sometime, so that can be expected. Now if your moon is Darakaraka, then you will see that you will get a person who will have a very feminine kind of a features, okay, and I would say very soft personality, right? Even if they are a male, still you can expect these things, very soft. Some males are very soft, they are not very typical person. They are a bit soft by nature, a little bit feminine tendencies can also be expected when moon is your Darakaraka. Also you will see that when moon become your Darakaraka, your spouse could have a little bit of big forehead that can be seen, and big eyes can be expected, and sometime I have even seen round face. Now for that, of course, 7th house lord, 7th house placement and all that stuff will also matter. For that, full horoscope consultation is required. Links are given in the description, but still these qualities of moon can be expected in your spouse. And with Darakaraka moon, there is a good chance that your spouse would love to cook food for you, okay, because moon Darakaraka will show these qualities in your spouse. Also, if let's say moon is well placed in your chart, then you will get a spouse with moon Darakaraka who would love to take care of you like your mother, okay, and very nurturing, caring type of partner you can expect. Now also I've seen sometime moon with Darakaraka when become your Darakaraka, so your spouse can also work in the field of hospitality industry, like they could have their own hotel, restaurant, for an example, if it's like an amazing Raj Yoga, or they could be connected with such industry. Also in food related business can also be expected. Working as someone in hospital, that can be expected, as a nurse or as a doctor sometime, okay. Having their own business related to these field can also be expected. Having restaurant, okay, or even beauty related stuff. Now beauty have normally linked with the Venus stuff, but it also have the moon stuff, because moon is also beautiful and it is like a feminine planet, that's why. So now you should understand the fact that when moon becomes Darakaraka, moon is a very sensual planet. Especially if you read the story of moon, then you came to know about. I will create a, like in future stories, like, you know, I will tell more about the planet and nakshatra, when I will tell you how moon, you know, moon was very lustful, you know. So yeah, so moon is actually give you a lot of lust in reality. So you will see that you need to pay attention to your spouse when moon become your dharakarka, because if you don't do that, it may possible that your partner may feel emotionally attached with someone else. And if, let's say, moon is not well placed and some other yogas are also there, of course we have to see full chart, so that can also possible that they detach from you and get attached somewhere else, especially moon when become your dharakarka. So you need to be a little bit careful, okay. And especially if, let's say, you have some, you are focusing more on your work and you have some tension going on, so emotionally they are feeling horrible, right? And somehow they meet other person and they become emotionally attached, so they can also move towards that direction. So you need to be a little bit careful in some cases, I'm telling you. But still, if your moon become dharakarka, you have to be a bit watchful to your spouse, like you have to pay attention, right? Because the emotions are really important. Emotions are the glue in your relationship when moon become dharakarka. Your spouse with moon dharakarka love and enjoy, you know, I would say they love living in that honeymoon phase of life. You know, when you get married or you are in a relationship, probably the first 12 month or 18 months is really important, because for the 18-month Rahu Ketu is there, so that obsession is there. So I would say that if that honeymoon phase of marriage, they want to keep living in that nurturing and giving roses and all that stuff. So yeah, that can be expected. So it's really a great idea for you to time, probably in after every 10 day, try to give them little bit surprises like roses or gifts, so that they can keep feeling those emotions. So yeah, it's really a great idea. Or take them to a surprise date even after getting married. So yeah, that these things could be a great remedy if your moon is a dharakarka, right? Regardless if your person is, if you are a male or a female, you can do that things accordingly, like, right? So yeah, now it may also possible that your spouse could have a strong moon placement when moon become your dharakarka. When moon become your dharakarka, your spouse require constant pampering from you. You can expect that, right? A regular basis, some sort of pampering required from you, right? They want that attention. So yeah, you need to focus on that, right? And then with moon dharakarka, you will also see that your spouse could have a regular mood swings, because moon is like fluctuating, it goes ups and downs, so those things can be expected. Now with moon dharakarka, you never know when and what you say that will hurt your spouse, right? Because that emotions are so high in your partner that you just never know that you said something normally and they will take on their heart. They're like, oh, you are saying this to me, and they literally start crying. So those things can be expected, right? With moon dharakarka. Also, you will see that with moon dharakarka, spouse could be very youthful. They could have a very youthful appearance, right? Nurturing and a very romantic nature person. As I said, that they want to be continuously living in that honeymoon phase. So yeah, these things can be expected. Very romantic kind of a person. You will see that you will get a very caring from that. Like for an example, constantly keep asking you, hey, did you have your food? Hey, do you want to have some apples, or do you want to have juice? Like for an example, just I'm giving. So that kind of a things can be expected. Moon become dharakarka, right? Now moon dharakarka, I've also seen that your spouse may be fond of traveling, right? Traveling to different places, right? And they may love traveling, right? That can be possible. And they could be foodie also, or love to eat food outside in restaurant and different foods, kind of a thing can also be seen. Moon as a dharakarka can also give your spouse who could be very who could be a person who would love to spend money. So yeah, that could be possible, right? Now dharakarka, if moon is placed, let's say, in dual sign, then you will see that Spouse could be very rigid, right? Sometime they could be flexible. So because of dual sign, both type of personality can be expected in your spouse. And in movable sign, they could have like a flexible nature, but in fixed sign they could have a bit stubborn nature. That can also be seen with moon Darakaraka. And moon Darakaraka will also give you spouse. It will also create somehow I would say that some part of emotional imbalance. You have to deal that kind of a stuff in your relationship with moon Darakaraka, because it's talking about that kind of a karma. Now if let's say this moon is not good place in your chart, and now this moon is this moon is bad place in your chart, let's say it's horrible condition in a very bad influence of malefics, bad place, then also it become your Darakaraka now. So it may create such situation in marriage, due to which you will see that after getting marriage, your mother relationship with your mother could suffer. Okay, like because of your wife or your husband or marriage, there could be some problem with your mother, right? And or you will see that if the relationship with the mother is good, then probably your marriage relationship will suffer. So at least one factor will suffer. But let's say if moon is well placed in a very good condition, then you will not see such kind of a problem. Okay, so yeah, that is the thing, because you should understand the fact that moon and Venus are not a very comfortable with each other, especially this Venus stuff. So yeah, Venus is your wife, mother is moon. So when Darakaraka become moon, so those kind of a situation I have seen. Now if let's say in some case if the combination are also there, so then spouse can also come from foreign land. You will see, like for an example, there are other combination. Let's say 7th lord is making connection with the 9th lord, Sushma Parivartan, 7th and the 12th making 12th connection, 7th lord in the 6th, right? Darakaraka in the 12th. So many other combinations are there. So and moon become your Darakaraka, then your spouse could also come from the foreign land, even if you have Venus in the Cancer with this. So those combination make a person marry a foreigner also with moon Darakaraka. I've also seen that. Now also it depends upon like moon is waxing or waning, like how the spouse nature will be there. More things can be determined from whether your moon is waxing or waning and which planets are aspecting and conjuncting moon, right? That could also be seen. Now I've also seen that moon Darakaraka also talk about that before marriage there could be like a couple of affair, like you could have couple of affairs or relationship before your marriage, some breakups. Okay, and even moon also talk about this specific thing, that if let's say moon has your Darakaraka and you have a relationship, just talking, let's say you have 10 different relationships, just for an example, and let's say you have a relationship few years back, you used to like a girl, but somehow due to some reason, or a boy, due to somehow or some reason, your girl or a boy that you used to like, you guys thought your relationship will not work out. After some years, something somehow happened that you guys again try to make it work and you guys get married somehow, right? So that kind of a situation can also be possible with moon as a Darakaraka, right? That relationship go down and then it will come back and you get married or somehow try to make it work again. That could also possible. You will also see that moon Darakaraka will give you a spouse who have a very strong emotional bonding with you. Okay, also he or she can be very, I would say, over possessive about you. Moon Darakaraka can also give that. Now you will see that if let's say you have moon Darakaraka and you are dating someone, and let's say this is going to be your spouse, you are going to get married to this person in future, I'm giving you an example. So you will see that your spouse will be someone who will not open all her secret or all his secret, or like not become more open with you until they become emotionally attached. So the emotional attachment is the most strong point when moon become Darakaraka. only after they become emotionally connected with you, they feel, only then they will become very open with you. You will also see that. Now, even if you are a female and you have moon Darakaraka, then you must expect that the partner you will get will be someone who will have a very caring attitude towards you. Okay? And even will have some sort of feminine traits, right? So you will see that. It's very rare to see these things in men, but yeah, still with moon Darakaraka you can expect that. Sometime moon Darakaraka even tell you that you could meet your spouse through somehow because of your mother. Like for an example, your spouse could be someone who could be a friend of your mother's friend, son or daughter, or something like that can be possible. Or your mother force you to take you to some event where you surprisingly meet a person that you start to like, and then you guys eventually get married down the line. That could also possible. That sometimes this spouse Darakaraka can show that your mother role could be important in your in meeting your spouse. Okay. Well placed moon can give you creative and a very good looking spouse. Okay. When moon become your Darakaraka. With moon Darakaraka, you will see that spouse can be highly creative. Okay. And your spouse will be someone who will put efforts to probably cook for you sometime. That can also be seen, right? Like not sometime, actually many times cooking can be seen, right? And especially for your wife, if you are a male and you have moon Darakaraka, sometime you feel like that your spouse is like your mother, right? With moon Darakaraka, that can be seen. Now, one remedy I would like to suggest if you have moon Darakaraka is that to spend every day under moon light. Whether you walk under moonlight, or the best remedy is to just like spend some time under moonlight in some open area, or at your roof of your home if you have roof, or if you have balcony, you can just relax there and keep looking towards moon. Especially whenever there is a full moon night, I highly recommend you to sleep under the moon. If you can't sleep under the moon in open place, then at least for 2 hours lay down and keep looking towards moon, or like look towards moon as much as you can, and just you will see that that's really amazing remedy. And if you get married or you are with your person, then if you both do that, it will help you a lot, not only in your relationship but also getting in your peace of mind. Okay, so you will also see that. Now, Darakaraka moon, you will see that your partner, or I would say your spouse, most probably will have a very strong Cancer placement. Like they could have moon in the Cancer, they could be Cancer ascendant, probably moon is looking at their ascendant. Okay, or in navamsa they could have moon strong placement, or even in nakshatras. That could also be seen with moon becoming your Darakaraka. Now, so generally a very beautiful and a sweet type of partner you can expect moon Darakaraka. Also, I have seen when moon become your Darakaraka. So even if you are an introverted person who do not like to socialize with the people, because of your spouse, you will start to little bit socialize, and you will see like your spouse will move forward and just try to engage with your family and relatives and try to engage you as well. So in a way that could help you in your relation, right? Moon Darakaraka can sometime also give you a spouse like who could have mind reading abilities. Literally they can read people's mind, and even you will get surprised sometime that, oh my god, she's or he is like, how she or he know that I am feeling like that or thinking like that. So moon reading abilities, even it may surprise you that the people who become a mind reader nowadays, mind reading profession, these guys also have a strong moon, or what I say, these guys, this profession of mind reading also have everything to do with the moon, right? And other thing as well, but moon in certain placement can give those tendencies. So moon is a Darakaraka, can also give you a spouse who could have mind reading kind of a tendencies, right? But of course, full horoscope consultation are required to see the big picture.
Now guys, I would like to tell you before you move forward, you can directly take consultation from us. We have created a website now. It's so simple. You can go there, link in description and the comment section below. You can just click there and just click of a button, you can just simply purchase directly consultation from us as the instruction are given on the website, and then we will just help you out in the consultation. Okay guys, so for that, links are in comment section and description. You can purchase consultation also.
Now, when Venus become your Darakaraka planet, so you will see that with Venus your Darakaraka planet, your spouse will be someone who could be very romantic and very passionate type of person, right? Romance and passion will be very like strong, I would say, in your spouse. With Venus Darakaraka, your spouse will be very luxury oriented person, right? Because with Venus that is always the case, right? Now, until or unless if Venus is like horribly placed, and even in their chart and your chart also, then things could change. But yeah, this is generally seen. Then Venus, when become Darakaraka, Venus Darakaraka, it is also seen that you will get a spouse who would be someone, or I can say who could be a type of person who loves to do a lot of expenses. Now, with Venus Darakaraka, it is possible that his spouse could be someone who can earn a good amount of money, right? But with Venus Darakaraka, it is also seen, I have seen that as soon as their income increases, right, with their increase in the income, they also have this high spending nature, right? So let's say they get a promotion, they get increment in salary, so they also start to spend more money. Let's say they shifted into a more expensive place to live. That could also be seen. Now, before I tell you more about your Darakaraka, I want to tell you I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance because I'm giving massive % discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website, right? With Venus Darakaraka. So yeah, that can also be expected when Venus become your Darakaraka. So yeah, that could also be seen that they could have a very expensive type of very spending nature, right? You can say. And also they would love to spend money on luxury, foreign travels, and all the Venusian things you can expect, right? And even, Venus related thing can be many things. So I'm just trying to talk some things here, right? So because I have to be careful what I say over here, and so many people are watching and people will just try to, I do not want anyone to think any negative and all that. Just try to see in a positive way. We'll try to draw positivity out of the placement. Now also when Venus become your Darakaraka, you will see that your partner will have some sort of charisma in their personality. And due to that charisma, the people get attracted towards them. Okay, let's say for an example, maybe they have a very good appearance. Maybe they might not have a very good appearance. They have with Venus, of course, they will have good appearance. But let's say they're with good appearance, they could have amazing speech that draw people. They could have a very voice. Some people have such a nice voice that people feel very attracted towards them. That could also be seen with Venus Darakaraka, right? And Venus Darakaraka will give you a spouse who will have such a great vibe, or I would say such a great aura, that people will naturally get attracted towards them. Okay, Venus Darakaraka become when in your chart, it is also seen that you will attract someone as your partner or a spouse who loves to enjoy like beauty, who would have like this joy and pleasure in their life, right? Or I can say who are very drawn towards such things. Venus Darakaraka will definitely make you compatible with someone who will enjoy art, beauty, and probably watching movies, like listening music, and enjoying a nice weather, sitting near some beach, sitting near beautiful places, right? And these things can be seen. Now, let's say for an example, if Venus is placed into the sign of Cancer, then probably emotional things and doing very artistic and creative things can be seen, probably spending time near water places, right? So those things can also be expected. In which sign it is placed, that also play an important role. And now in some cases it is also seen that when Venus become Darakaraka, after getting married, you could also see good amount of expenses suddenly. Okay, that can also be seen with Venus Darakaraka. With Venus Darakaraka, you will see that your spouse can also be in creative field, or probably in luxury, in perfume, in cars, right, in medicine, and especially Venus represent life-saving drugs or life-saving medicine. So yeah, that could be seen. When I say drugs, I mean medicine, right? You understand? Some people otherwise take it in a negative way. So yeah, life-saving medicine can be seen. Love-related field like advising related to dating, etc. Cosmetic business, music, videography, films, photograph, like photo business. So these things can be seen, or even in financial related field or banking or sector can also be seen. Also, Venus Darakaraka can also talk that you could get, Venus Darakaraka also share this, that let's say you have Venus Darakaraka, so you may go through multiple relations, or probably many relations in your life, or I would say at least you will have some relation in your life probably, and then you will find your real person, or probably after some breakup, then you could find your real person. That can also be seen with Venus Darakaraka. Venus Darakaraka can give you a spouse who will have prominent Venus position in their chart. Like for an example, let's say they have Venus in the first house, Venus looking at the first house, ascendant in the nakshatra of Venus, moon is placed into the sign of Taurus or Libra, or in navamsa, probably sun or moon or prominent planets are placed into the sign of Venus. So these things can be seen when your Venus become Darakaraka. Then you will also see that when Venus become Darakaraka, your spouse, I would say your spouse will teach you the importance of money. Okay, and even I have seen in many cases, it may also possible that Venus Darakaraka can give you a spouse who will help you in money management, right? If they could be related to that field, so that could also possible. Okay, because Venus Darakaraka can also talk about in a way that a spouse could also be someone who could do other people's wealth management or money management. That could also be seen. Okay. It may also possible that many time I've seen actually with Venus Darakaraka, these guys are like, these people probably don't have a very good dressing sense or like these stuff. They just they just wear anything, right? Until or unless, let's say, Venus become prominent in their chart, let's say looking at the Lagna or sitting in the first, probably in its own sign or in some good placement, probably which is giving them fashion sense, probably like second house, then things could be different. Otherwise, Venus Darakaraka many times could give you a tendency that you might not pay attention to your personality. You just wear whatever the thing is. So your spouse will be someone with this Venus Darakaraka who will teach you the dressing sense, who will teach you fashion, beauty, all these kind of a stuff can be seen when the Venus become Darakaraka. In fact, probably you would learn sense of fashion, or I would say naturally, you like whether your spouse will teach you, or somehow planetary something happened that you will start to feel more fashion. You become more fashion centric, or I would say fashion conscious kind of a person, that you will start to have good dressing style, and you would have a proper, you will start to groom yourself properly. If you were not, if you didn't did it till now, then after getting married, you will see that. Also, Venus Darakaraka also, it is also seen that your spouse can be very diplomatic, right? And like depending upon Rahu and Saturn placement, I would say it could also give a spouse who could have some political connection, because Rahu and the Saturn are really important when it comes to politics. So yeah, that can be seen. But Venus Darakaraka generally give you a very diplomatic type of spouse. That can also be seen. Also, you will see that with Venus Darakaraka, of course, the good thing is that they love to be very clean, right? To be clean is a very important thing in your spouse when Venus becomes a Darakaraka, and that's a good thing, right? And I think it is also seen that they love to live in a proper environment. Let's say if you are one of those people who just throw things here and there in your room and just put your shirts anywhere, shoes anywhere, then they may not like it. They're like, you have to put things in proper place, have a proper uh, you know things in the home. So you should start to learn that if you have Venus Darakaraka. Now, so Venus Darakaraka give you a spouse who love to live in a well organized way, I would say. Okay, in a good ambience, right? That could also be seen. So probably they would love to have this, this what I would say, having probably some kind of a chandelier, or probably this, this yellowish dim light type of, like low light type of environment people like, because Venus, these things can also be seen, this decorative type of lights having in the home. So these kind of tendencies are also seen in your spouse when Venus becomes Darakaraka. uh, Very caring and lovable spouse can be expected, right, with Venus Darakaraka. Although for caring, sign of Cancer also important, but yeah, still loving kind of a thing can be expected. Venus Darakaraka also show that your spouse will be someone who could have a very self-respect. Okay, self-respect is very high in your spouse, and if you try to hurt them, or I would say especially their self-respect, then you may get a strong response from that. So yeah, you have to be careful about that, because if you heard the story of Venus, how he used to study with Jupiter, and Jupiter father Rishi, who was a Rishi, so then he get discriminated, or those things whatever happened, due to which Venus left that place, and he just went to another Rishi. So you will understand this thing, that Venus, for Venus, self-respect is really important. Now I would love to discuss these stories in the future, probably with the planet and the nakshatras, right, differently, in a different video. Okay, when I would say your Venus become Darakaraka, your inner desire, you will see that somehow your inner desire will be that you wants to be with someone who must have attractive physique, attractive body, right, a very good, I would say, look, or I would say very beautiful or handsome, depending upon, like, if you like a girl like a beautiful, or a man who is a handsome person. Okay, that is the kind of a desire it will give you, especially in the case of Darakaraka. And Darakaraka Venus also say that for you this physical thing is really important, like physical love, and you will see those things like beauty, and definitely these people want to show the world that, see what I get, like for showing off to the people become very important when your Venus become Darakaraka, right? Now let's say Venus is your Darakaraka, it is also making connection with, let's say, probably Rahu. Then you could also say that such people could also marry out of the caste, in different community, in different religion, or a foreigner. Okay, that could also be seen. One good remedy for Venus is always to give, like if you have especially Venus Darakaraka, give your spouse a red rose, right? Okay, on Friday. That's really a great idea, and you can do that on the Hora of Venus as well, if you want to like improve that, or like on a higher level you want to do remedy. So that will be really helpful. Even if you have, let's say, fight or argument with your spouse on Friday in the Hora of Venus, you can just give it to your spouse and start talking to them. You will see that yes, the fight or dispute will get resolved at that time. So yeah, that could also be seen. Now also Venus Darakaraka, also, like I have seen that if you try to give romantic surprises to your spouse, like probably take them on some special date somewhere, like which is different with flowers and all that. Like for an example, I traveled to this Gili-Trawangan island in Bali, and I see a couple was sitting there, and they have this entire like portion of the beach, which is like a private space they converted, like whatever the restaurant there was, and they had like this big decoration going on, and the candles was there, and these guys, like these couple, were sitting together in a very good decorative way. They are having dinner right there. So that kind of a thing you can see very, I was seeing that, and I was like, this is totally a Venusian kind of a thing, Venus moon, or like romantic, those stuff kind of a placement. So yeah, these things can also be seen when Venus become your Darakaraka. Probably your spouse would like to have those things. Now Venus is a Darakaraka. If well placed in your chart, then you will also see sudden gain in your marriage. Or let's say you get married to someone, and Venus is your Darakaraka and well placed. You will see many people who try many businesses, and those businesses are not working, or things are not working. But once they get married, boom, suddenly they tried something that probably they may not even like that much, or even if like that much, but somehow after getting married, that thing work out, and they see sudden financial gains, or probably uh, like profession upliftment. So that can also be seen with Venus becoming Darakaraka. Venus Darakaraka well placed, then it can also give you a spouse who could come from a very wealthy like family background. Okay, that could be possible, or they could have like their self, they have some wealth. That could be possible. I mean, like partner can be from rich family if your Venus is Darakaraka. Venus Darakaraka also talk about that it give actually you a tendency that I would say internally you wants to get married to someone. Again, I say who you show to the world, like, hey, see, I'm married to this most beautiful girl. See, I'm married to this, and like, of course, you will not say that, but these guys like probably they post a lot of photos or videos together on social media just to do show off that you get such a nice partner. So yeah, that kind of a tendency also expected, I would say, I also seen in you if you have Venus Darakaraka. Like it is also seen that with Venus Darakaraka, if you have Venus Darakaraka, you will see that your spouse will love you, of course, you also love them, but for you it's more like a physical materialistic kind of a thing. Like for an example, for you physical material things are more matter in love, or like I would say marriage, right, in comparison to your spouse. That you will also see. Now Venus Darakaraka, other left, let's say other planets are conjunct, okay, then things could be different. Like which planets are conjunct, right? uh, of course Venus Darakaraka and Mercury is conjunct, then it could talk about different stuff. If Jupiter is conjunct, is talk about like it's just change this, like the nature of your spouse. It's just add the other flavors in their nature with this, okay. But yeah, still the base remains same with this. And of course you have to see the seventh lord, right, and its nakshatra placement. All that for horoscope consultation is required. For that, links are given in the description. Now let's say Venus is your Darakaraka. It also show that Venus Darakaraka talk about the love of like love, or I would say pleasure through all the senses. Okay, but basically materialistic aspect is really important for you when your Venus become Darakaraka. If Venus is your Darakaraka, you must always ask your spouse about their like opinion or advice before doing any major investment, like, or before having any major property or buying any major, like let's say car, etc. You should always take their advice. It's really a great idea if your Venus is a Darakaraka to ask them, right? Because I would say it's really a nice idea. You can take this as a remedy as well. Now let's, in which house, in which sign this Venus is falling, that play its own game, and I would say that's like a its own flavors will be added. But yeah, still these things are seen. Venus Darakaraka could also give you a spouse who could be interested in things like finance, wealth management, luxury, fashion, ornaments, jewelry, I would say decoration, arts, beauty, dancing, even professions like matchmaking, deal making. Okay. Also, if Sun is connected, let's say with this Venus, then your spouse could also be someone who could have very real and royal nature. Okay, real and royal, what I'm saying, oh holy shit. If Sun is also connected with this Venus Darakaraka, then your spouse could also have very royal and regal nature. Okay, that can be seen. Also Venus Darakaraka give you a spouse who will be someone who believes strongly in equality, and that have a lot of meaning. Like for an example, if let's say these people, like especially let's say you are a man and you have Venus Darakaraka, so your spouse or your wife could be someone who think like you are equally responsible for this work, I am equally responsible. It's not like that you will do this and we will do that. Like no, everything is equal. So equality matters a lot, and it's like a lot of meaning, right? when it comes to equality. So yeah, that can also be seen. Now Venus Darakaraka, you will also see that after getting married, you will get a like sudden transformation in your personality. Even people will ask, can start to ask you that, hey, are you having some anti-aging medicine or something, some therapy? You are looking younger. So that could also be seen, such kind of a compliments or comments, whatever you take it, however you take it, right? That can also be expected if your Venus is a Darakaraka. One remedy more I would like to tell you if you have Venus Darakaraka is to give your partner self-grooming products. Anything which you feel self-grooming and luxury, right? A bit expensive side products you can give, like for an example, luxury perfume. Probably you can also give clothes of which is like a white color. Like for example, for husband, you can give this smooth, shining type of cloth, white shirt, let's say for an example, or white dress, whatever you prefer, and you can give it on Friday. So yeah, sometime I've also seen that Venus Darakaraka can give you a spouse who can also be very charitable, and they could also have forgiving nature. If Venus Darakaraka is connected to the Rahu, again as I told you, like out of the caste, etc. But my advice is that Venus Darakaraka, now Venus Darakaraka with Rahu, etc., it doesn't mean that 100% it's out of the caste. Of course, other placement must have to be seen, like 7th Lord where it is placed, 7th Lord, 9th Lord has any connection, 7th or 12th has any connection, how the other things are going on, how the Nakshatra is, which planets are influencing 7th house, right? Of course, for that full horoscope consultation is required. Links are given in the description, but still, you have to be like the chances are there. But when Venus becomes Darakaraka and it is connected with the Rahu, my advice is you have to be very careful before you are going to have relationship or before you are going to get married to a person. You need to have proper checkup of the person, their background, etc. Because Venus connected with the Rahu can sometime put you in a trap. Okay, and the trap is like, for an example, you are a man especially and you are just falling in love with the woman you want to get married. She could be someone who is just lying to you, because Rahu represents smoke, Rahu is illusion, and Venus is love. So love in illusion, right? It's like that. So probably she's telling you that I was a model and this happened, that happened, and you went there and you just find out everything was false, right? So you have to be a bit careful. Now, of course, it's not 100% the case, not every time the case, but still with Venus Rahu and Venus or Darakaraka, you have to be a little bit careful. Even I would say that even if Venus is your not Darakaraka, with Venus Rahu conjunction, you have to be very careful and you have to check a lot the person that you are going to get married. Okay, that's what my advice is.
Now guys, I would like to tell you before you move forward, you can directly take consultation from us. We have created a website now. It's so simple. You can go there, link in description and the comment section below. You can just click there and just click of a button, you can just simply purchase directly consultation from us as the instruction are given on the website, and then we will just help you out in the consultation. Okay guys, so for that, links are in comment section and description. You can purchase consultation also.
Now when Jupiter becomes Darakaraka, you will see that you will get a spouse who will be very knowledgeable person. Okay, you will see that like their personality reflect the knowledge, right? When Jupiter becomes Darakaraka, your spouse could be someone who wants to just, there are certain people who just keep studying, right? Even if throughout the life they just study here and there something, some books, right? So such kind of a personality you will see, who loves to keep study. Sometime these people also want to attain some sort of higher education. That can be possible. Even in fact, I have seen the cases where Jupiter become Darakaraka and their spouse are just obsessed with having many degrees, like they are having degree in marketing, they are having degree in other fields, and then in the third, fourth field, like they just obsessed with having unnecessary degrees, right? So that could be possible, or it may also possible they loves to study certain subject, like probably self-help books or some sort of study related things keep going in their life throughout the life. That can be seen. Like for an example, if you travel, you see many people are there who just focus on their books studying. So that is the kind of a people you can expect with Jupiter Darakaraka. In certain cases, Jupiter Darakaraka also talk about like that your spouse could also come from the foreign land or a long distance relationship type of scenario. Why? Now before I tell you more about your Darakaraka, I want to tell you I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance because I'm giving massive percent discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. Because if you understand in the Kalapurusha Kundli, Jupiter ruled the 9th house of long distance travel and 12th house of foreign lands. Okay, but you should understand the fact for having marriage to a foreigner or out of the caste or out of your religion, your Jupiter must have to be afflicted, which means if Darakaraka is afflicted in a certain way, and also your 9th house of dharma has to be afflicted, because without affliction of 9th house and Jupiter, you will not able to marry a person who is out of your community. Only when 9th house is afflicted, Jupiter is afflicted, and which is your Dharakaraka, especially in your case, then you will see there's a high chances that you might even get married to a foreigner, and yeah, those things, or probably someone of different culture, different community, different religion. Okay, and then of course you need to have a strong 3rd house because you need courage. If you, especially if you are in India or such countries where tradition etc are followed, you need to have tremendous courage to go against your family or to convince them. So yeah, all these things need to be seen, right? And of course for that full horoscope consultations is required. Links are given in the description. Now let's say when Jupiter become your Darakaraka, you will also see that your spouse can be someone who is likely a guiding figure in your life. Because many times I've seen when Jupiter become Darakaraka, you yourself might lack that energy of Jupiter. So you need someone in your life who can be like a guiding figure. So you will get your spouse in that form. Okay, now see, you are lacking those qualities. You might not believe that, right? But this is the reality. But yes, there are certain cases. Let's say for an example, Jupiter is your Darakaraka, but you are a Sagittarius or a Pisces ascendant, or Jupiter is in your Lagna. Then of course you have those qualities of Jupiter as well, but still you will lack some sort of qualities, especially when become Jupiter Darakaraka. So but for exception is that when you become Sagittarius or Pisces ascendant, or Jupiter is in 1st house, let's say for you, and in those cases if you have Jupiter Darakaraka in those cases, then you will have Jupiter qualities, but still you will lack some things that your spouse will come and they will complete those qualities. Okay, so that can be seen. But generally with Jupiter Darakaraka, I have seen that the chemistry you will share with your spouse is like a teacher-student relationship or a professor-student relationship. So you will feel many times like you are married to a teacher, like who just guide you, who just show you the direction or light that hey, you have to do this, do that. That can be possible. With Jupiter Darakaraka, you will learn a lot from your spouse, right? And they will be like a guiding figure in your life who will like to show you some path or help you whenever you need. I've also seen that after getting married, when Jupiter becomes your Darakaraka, you suddenly start to feel that somehow, maybe because of your spouse or somehow something triggered in your body, that you start to feel religious, inclined toward religion after marriage, because the Darakaraka get activated. Okay, probably you start to chant mantras or something happen, you start to visit temple or any religious place according to your religion. That could also possible. Okay, Jupiter Darakaraka, you will also see that it will give you a spouse, I would say with Jupiter Darakaraka, who could have a goldenish type of complexion, or I would say goldenish type of look. Okay, and someone who could be well educated, right? And even Jupiter could also talk about someone who has stout body. Okay, so yeah, this is also seen when Jupiter becomes Darakaraka. Jupiter Darakaraka also, like I have seen many times, give you a spouse who could be a professor, especially I would say when Jupiter becomes Darakaraka and it is placed in the 7th house of your chart. I have seen this so many times that such people get married to a girl or a boy who is a professor. Okay, and especially if you are a male and you have this combination, somehow even if they are not a professor, after getting married something happen, they start teaching or they get a job, they become professor or a teacher in some college or a school. You will see that. I have seen this on a countless chart. Okay, now it is not necessary that they only become professor of certain things or teacher of certain things. They can be of any kind of a professor depending upon which planets are influencing. Like let's say Venus is continue with this, like combine somehow affecting probably music etc teacher professor. Like if Mars is there, something technical, or Jupiter is there, probably philosophical, right? So yeah, that's how, like Saturn influence with Jupiter, probably history professor. So you will see, I've seen it many times. Even if you are a boy or a girl, once you get married, somehow after getting married, your spouse will start to teach, probably become teacher or professor, or many times you could even get married to a professor or teacher, especially if this Jupiter Darakaraka placed in the 7th house of your chart. Okay, when Jupiter become Darakaraka, I have also seen that you will found a spouse, or I can say you should look for a spouse who could have prominent placement of Jupiter. Let's say Jupiter is placed in his own sign of Pisces or Sagittarius, or Jupiter is looking at the Lagna, or Jupiter is placed in the first house, Jupiter probably in the first house of navamsa. Okay, or Sun or Moon placed into the navamsa sign of Jupiter. Okay, those things can be seen, or probably Jupiter Nakshatra is prominent. So these things definitely you will find it when your Jupiter become Darakaraka in your spouse chart. Okay, in your spouse chart, these things you will find when your Jupiter become Darakaraka. Many times Jupiter Darakaraka can also give you foreign settlement. Okay, or even you can, like whether, see Jupiter if Darakaraka in your chart, then I have seen few cases like such people get married and then suddenly they get an offer from a foreign company and they move with their spouse to a foreign land, because Jupiter is naturally the significator, or I would say ruler of 9th and 12th houses, which represent long distance traveling and foreign land, which is even connected to the higher education in foreign land, even because 9th and 12th connection is talking about that. So you will see that whether you could move, like in many chances, in many cases there are chances that you could move to foreign land with your spouse after getting married, or such people somehow get married, and because with the help of their spouse, when they have Jupiter Darakaraka, they will move abroad. Okay, that could also possible. Now of course, for this you must need to have combination of moving abroad, other placements. For that, full horoscope consultation is required. Link are given in the description. Yeah, but still this Darakaraka show that. Now Jupiter Darakaraka also give you I would say a wife or a husband, I would say a spouse who could be very foodie. That can be seen. Okay, and sometime a bit chubby also, right? Sometime, because for that other planets influence need to be seen. Now if Jupiter is Darakaraka, one advice I would like to give you is that let's say you are meeting a boy or a girl and you have Jupiter Darakaraka, so always try to discuss religious things about them, right? Let's say for an example, you are an atheist person and you have absolutely no interest in religion, but you are like dating a girl who is highly spiritual. Every single day she wake up and first thing she do is just she take a shower and then she do just like puja and like prayers, and then she go for a food. Okay, so it could be a mismatch for you, right? And let's say totally opposite. Let's say probably you follow one religion, she is like stubborn about her religion, so you have to be careful. Okay, like my advice here is that when you have Jupiter Dharakaraka, you have to be very careful when you are about to get married to a girl and you are dating someone. Try to see what is their point of view about the religion, and you must have to get married to a girl whom with your like this religious point of view is matching. Okay, or at least you will feel comfortable that okay, this is her religious views are and I am just comfortable with that, I have no problem with that. Then only you should go ahead in relationship. Otherwise these things could become trouble, right? So you need to be a bit careful regarding that. Jupiter Darakaraka, if let's say well placed in your chart, then this is considered to be as a lucky placement. Okay, because you will get a spouse who will definitely guide you, right? Try to do analysis of things for you, try to figure out problem for you and tell you and show you the right path. Okay, Jupiter is a significator of expansion, right? So probably after getting married you will also see that there is a prosperity and some sort of expansion in your life, a growth. Okay, even in your profession you can expect after getting married if Jupiter is well placed. Now Jupiter is a Darakaraka, can give you a spouse who love to discuss on topics like probably philosophical stuff, spirituality, religion. Okay, and you can even use this as a remedy. How you can use this? Let's say someday you have fight or argument with your spouse. So one good idea is that you just try to talk to your spouse about these things. Like, hey, I was just thinking about we should start to visit temple or something like that. So you will see that their mind get distracted when you start talking about these things. So these things will work as a remedy, and in that way you can just stop those argument and fight. So yeah, so success and prosperity can also be expected when you have Jupiter Dharakaraka after marriage, right, if it's well placed. Also Jupiter as a Dharakaraka will give you a spouse who can be most likely honest and who will have great wisdom, because Jupiter represents wisdom, Mercury represents intelligence or cleverness, but Jupiter is the wisdom to understand everything. Okay, so that can be seen. Jupiter is a Darakaraka if let's say placed in the fixed signs in your chart, then it can give you a spouse who could be very rigid, okay, and rigid about their religious view, philosophical view, very stubborn. But let's say if it's placed in the dual sign or movable sign, then definitely it suggests that spouse can be flexible also sometime. Sometime they can be rigid also, but sometime flexible also. So Jupiter Darakaraka also draws our attention that once you get married, activation of your luck can be seen, because Jupiter naturally represents the 9th house of Bhagya, luck, fortune. So that can be seen. Jupiter as a Darakaraka also indicate that you will get a spouse who will somehow contribute in the growth and prosperity and the expansion of things in your family somehow after getting married. Okay, that can be seen, whether they start to do some job or they just try to do some work by which they can contribute financially, that can be seen, right? However, I would again say, of course, we have to see other placements as well, but still as per Darakaraka you can expect that. Jupiter as a Darakaraka give you a spouse who can be very optimistic and positive. Okay, they will have naturally a positive outlook towards life. Naturally they will be very optimistic person. Okay, Jupiter as a Darakaraka also give you a spouse who can be very, I would say, generous and charitable type of person. They might love to do charities, try to visit temple and try to help people there. Okay, a very kind of individual that can be expected. Honest and truthful type of spouse can also be expected when Jupiter becomes Darakaraka. Definitely you will see with Jupiter Darakaraka, spiritual inclination can be expected in your spouse. Okay, I would say they might have a very strong, deep interest in religious things, philosophical things. Okay, Jupiter in the Darakaraka can also talk about, if let's say well placed in 7th house, 7th lord is also good in your chart, then it can even give you a spouse who could be honorable and respected in society. Okay, probably they could be influential. Okay, and Jupiter Darakaraka also talk about someone who could be very mature and wise person. Okay, and someone even I would say who is educated and scholarly type of person. Okay, who would love to continue doing some sort of study, and those things can be expected. Okay, definitely Jupiter Darakaraka also give you a spouse who could have very optimistic look towards life. Okay, they will always be hopeful about, like, whenever challenging situation come, they will guide you that, hey, don't worry, something will happen. Jupiter Darakaraka will also give you a spouse who will be very supporting and I would say encouraging you. So whenever there's something you feel demotivated to achieve your dreams and goal, you will see that your spouse will be someone who will encourage you, support you to achieve those things. Okay, and generally Jupiter, if let's say well placed, then even it could even give them some sort of, I would say, a very stable and reliable type of partner you can expect. Jupiter, it might surprise you. Jupiter as a Darakaraka can even talk that if let's say it's connected somehow with Mars or in Nakshatra sign somehow, then your spouse could also be very adventurous spirited person. Okay, who could have appreciation for the culture. Okay, and Jupiter Darakaraka could also talk about spouse who could be very family oriented. Okay, and you will get a very when Jupiter becomes Darakaraka, you will get a good mentor, right, or a good teacher in your form of your spouse. okay, and they will also have good financial wisdom, okay. And you will also see that Jupiter Darakaraka will give you a spouse who could have leadership qualities, because that is always the case with the Jupiter, right? And they can be a good I would say listener also, right? And also Jupiter Darakaraka generally, if well placed, it can also talk about that your spouse could have like could be very open minded person, okay, whose presence can be very inspiring for the people, okay. And they could also be visionary, because Jupiter represent expansion. So let's say you have a business, so they could vision that, okay, we can in the next 5 years we can take this business into that level. For that we have to break it year wise, and then break it quarterly, and then break it monthly, okay. So that could also possible. Now you will also see that very ambitious, sometime patient, okay, such kind of a spouse you can also expect, who could also have emotional intelligence, right? That can also be seen. So yeah, this is the type of spouse you can expect when your Jupiter become Darakaraka.
Now guys, I would like to tell you before you move forward, you can directly take consultation from us. We have created a website now. It's so simple. You can go there, link in description and the comment section below. You can just click there, and just click of a button, you can just simply purchase directly consultation from us, as the instruction are given on the website, and then we will just help you out in the consultation, okay guys. So for that, links are in comment section and description. You can purchase consultation also.
Now let's talk about Mars Darakaraka. What happened when Mars become your Darakaraka? See, when Mars become your Darakaraka, it will give you a spouse who will be physically very active, you can expect with Mars Darakaraka. Also, Mars Darakaraka also talk about that your spouse would be someone who will be, I would say, interested in things like physical activities, sports activities. That also talk about Mars Darakaraka. Generally talk about someone who will have lean physique, like your spouse will be someone who could have like a lean physique, or I would say physically good body, okay. Generally with Mars Darakaraka, do not give you a spouse who could be like a very bad in shape or something like that. No, that it doesn't indicate that, until or unless something horrible is happening in like with this Darakaraka, okay. Now Mars Darakaraka generally give you a very attractive spouse, okay. If Mars is very heavily and badly aspected in your chart or afflicted by malefics, okay, then of course spouse could have this anger issues, okay. I will discuss more things later in this video about that. Now Mars Darakaraka can also talk about you could marry a spouse, or like your spouse could be someone who can have Mars in the first house, I mean Mars in their ascendant, or probably Mars is looking at their first house by its any aspect, which is 4th, 7th or 8th aspect, or their moon is in the sign of Mars. That can also possible, or in navamsa also such position of Mars placement in the moon placement in the Mars signs can be possible, okay. So Mars related, like Mars dominated person you can expect. Now before I tell you more about your Darakaraka, I want to tell you I have launched my money and wealth remedies self-help course. Don't miss this chance, because I'm giving massive % discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. Okay. If Mars is Darakaraka, then you will also see that I would say one thing you will see that your spouse with Mars Darakaraka will definitely defend you like a warrior when you guys have fight, okay. So yeah, that will also be seen. Generally Mars Darakaraka will give you a spouse who will have who will be very full of energy, okay, and vitality, a very dominating person, okay. Now until unless some planet like Saturn is aspecting, or some female planet is making connection with it, because or like of course we have to see other thing as well. For that full horoscope consultation is required. Links are given in the description if you want consultation. But yeah, this is what you can see. Also, if you have Mars Darakaraka, I would say that you will feel attracted towards a person who would be very young, passionate and active individual. Okay, Mars Darakaraka will give you a spouse who will definitely have great sex drive, and intimate relation will be very important for your partner. And if, let's say, in their chart also Mars Venus connection is forming and such kind of a thing can be possible, or let's say this Darakaraka is in the Nakshatra of Venus in your chart, then yes, it could also talk about that sexual compatibility needs to be very, very important in the relationship. Mars Darakaraka will give you a tendency that you may fall for someone, like, I mean, in love, or like the connection you feel with someone who can be very active, very energetic, youthful. Okay, like that kind of a person who is very active, doing exercise, etc., or in some physical stuff. Because if your Mars is your Darakaraka, it might not like, you might not like someone who could be a lazy person, non-energetic. Like, you naturally feel drawn towards such person who could be having a good physique, or like, physically very active person. Mars Darakaraka will give you a partner or a spouse, I would say, who is generally very disciplined, and who would like to sleep on time, wake up on time. Okay, very routine follow type of person. Like, for an example, if you see Akshay Kumar in Bollywood, he would be a perfect example for someone Mars Darakaraka. I'm not sure that if his wife has the Mars Darakaraka or like 7th Lord placement. I haven't checked his her chart. But the point is, see his routine and all that, talk about, because he have Mars in the first house. So definitely talk about these kind of a thing, like discipline, waking up on time, sleeping on time. And when Mars become your Darakaraka, so Mars energy in such a way that, when a person is Mars dominated, when they speak, people have to listen to them. Most people get just quiet in front of them, because in their way of talking you can sense that Mars energy. Okay, and it's very aggressive, because Mars is the warrior, Mars is the, I would say, journal of the military. Okay, but not actually journal, I would say commander, you can say, because for journal that Jupiter is also required along with Mars, because that leadership ability. So yeah, so that can be expected. Also the Mars Darakaraka can give you a partner who can be related to the profession, like police, military, a surgeon, doctor, or in general a doctor, but especially someone who deal with surgery, cuts and all that stuff. And chemist also can be seen, someone who could be in geology. Okay, because that also have geology also have, like this geography and geology also have some sort of Mars energy, because they are connected to the land, and Mars is the significator of land. Also engineering. Okay, and someone who could be like a jail warden, or working for government in jails, right? That could be possible. Cooking related thing, because Mars in a way also connected to that. So yeah, also, but for cooking, moon placement, etc., also need to be seen connection with the Mars. But yeah, but then someone who could be connected to lands, real estate, property dealer, or someone could be an athlete. Okay, gym worker, like someone who could be a gym trainer or having a gym owner, something like that, or someone in the fitness celebrity or something like that. So yeah, that can be seen. These are the profession generally connected with the Mars. Of course, there are many other profession, but yeah. And also Mars also talk about technical things, so someone who could be in some sort of technology, that can also be seen. But for those stuff, Saturn connection and Rahu must also need to be seen. But let's say if you are a girl and you have Mars as your Darakaraka, and this Darakaraka is connected with Ketu, then I would recommend you should marry a man who, probably, if you can marry a man who is a foreigner and you can move with him to foreign country, right, then it's really a great idea. And this is applicable for only females. If you are a female looking for a man and your Mars is connected with the Ketu, then it's really a great idea to marry a foreigner to move abroad. But of course, this is actually a remedy also for Mars Ketu. And also I have seen Mars if connected to the Ketu, and if you are a girl, then you could also marry someone who could be a doctor, a surgeon. Okay, so yeah, that can also be seen. Or someone who could do a detailing work, very minute art related work. But then again, other planets also need to be seen. For that, full horoscope consultation is required. Links are given in the description. Okay, but especially, if you are a girl with Mars Darakaraka, and even like Mars is connected with Ketu in your chart, then you need to be a little bit careful, right? Yeah. Even with other planet, like even if you are not a girl and you are a boy or a girl, whatever, if your Mars is connected with malefics, Rahu, Ketu, Saturn, etc., little bit careful. Okay, and if Mars is connected to the Sun, spouse could be very, very dominating, because Sun and angriness, like anger of sun with the anger of Mars, right? That's like, so yeah, so get ready for that kind of a thing. Now Mars Darakaraka, I would say, afflicted, definitely talk about challenges, fights in the relationship. As I told you, these afflicted planets, if they are afflicting, challenges will be there, fights in their relationship. So now you need to use your Mercury and Jupiter, which means intelligence and wisdom you need to use to make your marriage work, because the type of partner you will expect, I would say you attract with this placement, is definitely someone who create conflicts, or probably you may not like each other's things sometime. And because let's say you are a Venusian person and your partner is a Martian person with Mars Darakaraka, your Mars Darakaraka, then you will see that when you guys meet, sexually very, very attracted, because Mars Venus are like magnet to each other. So sexually you guys have like attracted towards each other, but you guys started relationship, or even let's say get married, then and later you will find that these issues are forming. So you need to be I would say you need to use intelligence as well, right? So that's what I can say, because the astrology, so now it's your responsibility if you want to if you want your marriage to work, right? So yeah, that's what I can say. Now well placed Mars Darakaraka indicate that you will get a spouse who will help you to move towards to move forward in your life properly, okay, who will help you, who will provide energy, strength to you that you lack, okay. And definitely Mars Darakaraka, if let's say sometime it's afflicted, then it could also talk about that you lack those energy, okay, because that is why it's become your Darakaraka. Now until or unless you are a Martian ascendant, Mars is your ascendant lord, or in the first house, then you also have those energies, but at the same time if it's your Darakaraka as well, so you are lacking them also. But if Mars is not making connection with your ascendant or ascendant lord, it's only your Darakaraka, then most likely you lack this energy of Mars, okay. So you will get a partner who will help you. Like for an example, I've also seen Mars Darakaraka person not making connection with the ascendant. Such person, like people try to disrespect them, and they just can't take a stand for them. You will get a partner who will help you in taking a stand, right, for you, who will encourage you, motivate, like, hey, you have to go ahead and you have to fight back, so that is the kind of a partner you can expect. Then Mars Darakaraka, I would say also I would say give you a boy or a girl probably who would go to gym, who would have strong personality, a well-built body, and even you will feel that naturally inside you will naturally draw towards like such boy or a girl. Even if you are a boy, you would love to have a girl who would probably have a perfect body, that athletic body, or I would say that perfect body, okay. Yeah, and even if you are a girl, you will attracted towards the boy with the muscle and all that stuff. Now if you are a female, then with Darakaraka Mars, I would say you will also see that you will feel attracted towards those boys who could be very protective, nurturing, caring. You see those movies in which like for an example, you see many movies in which the girl is there and with the feminine traits, and the boy is there if something happen, like some people come and boy just stand and guard his girl like a wall, and let's say snowfall is started, the boy remove his clothes and put it on the shoulder of girls. So that is the kind of like personality this Darakaraka can give you. If your Mars is Darakaraka and you are a female, you expect such type of boys, okay, or such type of man. Generally, like internally I've seen this is the feeling of such a female, to get someone who could be protected financially, also someone who could be a bit like stable, so that because Mars also represent, like Mars when look at the 10th house, even it talk about the financial stability, career stability. And Mars as a Darakaraka, definitely in the back of a mind it will give you a feeling that I want a partner who could be stable in terms of finances or career, so that if something happened to my career, at least I get someone. Like you will see that naturally someday these things will trigger inside you. But naturally you want someone who could be very protective when it comes to female. If you have Mars Darakaraka, so you want someone who could be a protective man, okay. Now Mars Darakaraka will give you a spouse who will motivate you, okay, fight for you even, okay. You will also see that Mars Darakaraka will give you a spouse who will definitely cheer you to take some sort of actions. Hey, you can do it, like supporting, encouraging you. Mars also represent military commander, someone who is like a senapati commander. So Mars Darakaraka also talk about that. See, you should expect the spouse will have some sort of commanding nature with Mars Darakaraka. Now, of course, his placement also mattered. Okay. Now, Mars, for that horoscope consultation is required. Links are given in the description. Mars Darakaraka in your chart, if placed in, let's say, fixed signs, then you can expect your spouse will be someone who will have very rigid and very stubborn kind of a nature. They won't change their view, and that may lead to some time conflict as well if you are not adaptable or you are not flexible, because if both become rigid, definitely there will be conflicts. Now let's say if Mars is placed into the into dual sign, that sometime they will show very rigid stubborn nature, sometime they will be flexible. If Mars is placed into the movable sign, then generally I've seen that then your partner will be a bit more flexible, Now Mars is a Darakaraka. Now of course other things also need to be seen, but with Mars as a Darakaraka also suggests the spouse will be the one who will be in control and who will be the decision maker in your relationship. Okay, you should understand that Mars Darakaraka definitely talk about this. And now until or unless let's say Mars is influencing on your personality, like for an example, Mars is your Darakaraka, but at the same time it is influencing your Lagna. Mars is your Lagna Lord and then become Darakaraka, then you both become same. I would say that will lead to sometime more power struggles, because you want the same authority like your partner, and with Mars Darakaraka he will also or she will also wants that kind of authority. So yeah, you have to deal with that wisely. So Mars Darakaraka also talk about spouse would be very energetic, okay, strong-willed person, okay, very determined to do something, protective towards you, very independent, I would say. Okay, you can expect courageous nature in them, and they could be very competitive also, okay, but a passionate lover. Sometime I've also seen Mars Darakaraka even give you someone who could be a very quick tempered kind of a person, okay, sometime impatience also, okay, love physical fitness, okay, and also leadership qualities can be seen, because Mars is an independent planet, so it can give your spouse an leadership qualities. But for that, Jupiter must also be strong with the Mars, okay, then become a good leader. Mars Darakaraka also give you a spouse who could be very adventurous spirited person. So probably your spouse may also love to travel, and if you also love to travel, probably you guys love like travel together, okay. And yeah, that could be a great idea. In fact, I would say Mars Darakaraka, you guys if do some adventurous activities like going to the mountains and doing hiking, such kind of a thing, it's good. Mars Darakaraka also give indication towards so strong sexual energy, okay, and Mars Darakaraka will definitely give you a spouse who could be very straightforward. So okay, so you should expect that kind of a partner. A person with Mars Darakaraka, you will get a person, I would say, who would be very goal oriented, focusing on their goal. They want to achieve it, and for that putting their whole strength. Okay, if Mars is well placed, then generally it will give you a committed partner, okay, practical and a very, I would say, action oriented type of partner. Okay, and let's say this other placement are also well placed, then they will also have some sense of responsibility, because Mars also give discipline, but for that responsibility, Saturn role is also important. Okay, Mars Darakaraka can also give you a spouse who could have very strong work ethic, okay, and they would like to live a very disciplined life, he or she, like I want to sleep on time, I want to wake up on time, we have to eat food on time, before 6 in the evening we have to eat food. Okay, so these things can be seen, okay, and yeah, a fearless type of individual. And Mars Darakaraka can also give you a spouse who could be good and in things like technical skills they could have, okay, and Mars Darakaraka sometime spouse can be very blunt and honest also, okay, they can be very straightforward, okay, and also Mars Darakaraka, definitely a spouse will have fearless attitude, right, that you can also expect. Now see, I would say that if Mars is your Darakaraka, your spouse could be someone who could be very protected towards your family, I mean you guys, your kids, right, and sometime Mars Darakaraka will give a very high self-esteem in your partner, okay, and they could be adventurous in intimacy also, okay, when it comes to Mars Darakaraka. I would also say that Mars Darakaraka, like see, they will have high self-esteem, but I think it will not be as high as that of Sun Darakaraka, okay, So yeah, and there will be 100% you can expect with Mars Darakaraka, your spouse will have the desire to control in relationship. They wants to hold the steering of relationship. Okay. Generally Mars Darakaraka also talk about that your spouse may not expect you to be lazy. So if you have that, get ready to do exercise every single day, right? Because that's what they want you to do. You see some people where, let's say, a wife is doing exercise every day and a husband is just a little bit lazy, or let's say your husband is doing exercise and wife is lazy. You can expect that the person is generally lazy could have a Mars Darakaraka, because I've seen that in many cases. Now also you can expect one thing I would like to tell you. If your Mars is a Darakaraka, one thing you should expect 100% that there will be some fights and struggle at least between you and your spouse if Mars is your Darakaraka. Now what intensity of those fights will be, well, that depends upon your overall planetary placements. For that, full horoscope consultation is required. Links are given in the description if you want to buy consultation. But here's the thing, with Mars Darakaraka, fights and conflicts are there, but the good thing is that your partner will also defend you from the outer world. Okay, they will be always supportive towards you. They can fight with you by themselves, but will be protective towards you from the outer world. So my advice to you is, if your Mars is Darakaraka, expect that yes, there will be some sort of things. So do not act very impulsively if you have little bit of argument. Your goal should be that, okay, I have Mars Darakaraka, so there will be some sort of conflicts. So try to, when there is a fight happening, try to calm yourself down, and after some time try to talk in a very good manner. Okay, also try to channelize this energy by traveling to the mountains, doing sports activities together. Playing sports together is really a great idea, any sports you like, because in that way you are using this Mars energy, you are channelizing that into the right direction, or probably you guys can do exercise together. Yeah, so that is what I would like to tell you about the Mars as a Darakaraka. So yeah, this is all about Mars Darakaraka.
Now guys, I would like to tell you before you move forward, you can directly take consultation from us. We have created a website now. It's so simple. You can go there, link in description and the comment section below. You can just click there, and just click of a button, you can just simply purchase directly consultation from us as the instruction are given on the website, and then we will just help you out in the consultation. Okay guys, so for that, links are in comment section and description. You can purchase consultation also.
Now if Saturn become your Darakaraka, then what can you expect? Saturn as a Darakaraka will give you a spouse who will have very serious outlook towards life. Your spouse is someone who wants a proper relationship. Okay, finally Saturn Darakaraka, I have seen that such people who have Saturn Darakaraka, their partner, the partner they attract in their life will be someone who will have very serious outlook towards life. They probably do not likes to have hookup kind of a thing. They wants to have someone with proper relationship, or probably after having some experiences in their young life, they just somehow become a person who just want to have a proper relationship. Not like just one night stand or these stuff. No. Also Saturn Darakaraka will give you a spouse. Now see, who may not necessarily bad look. Like for an example, you think that Saturn become Darakaraka, so it means spouse is bad looking. No, it doesn't mean that. Not every time you will see that Saturn Darakaraka means spouse doesn't have good look. No, Saturn Darakaraka can also give a spouse good looks. Okay, you have to see other things as well for looks, not only the Saturn Darakaraka. Okay, it not necessarily mean that bad looks. Okay, you have to see like other things in your chart, like 7th house, 7th lord, which planets are influencing your 7th, 8th houses, and a lot of other factors. Okay, for that horoscope consultation is required. Links are given in the description if you want to purchase that. So yeah, it can actually talk about that. Yes, Saturn in a Darakaraka, like, can you give you a spouse who could be looking like a more older in comparison to the age, or probably someone who would like to follow more traditional value. Okay, that can be possible. Or Saturn Darakaraka will give them such a possibility that they have like a serious look. or a serious appearance. That can be possible. Saturn as a Darakaraka, you will attract someone who would love to have serious kind of a relationship, and he or she will be a mature person. Okay, Saturn Darakaraka, like when become in your chart, then your relationship will teach you patience, and also it teach you how, like, to put more efforts in life. Okay. Now, before I tell you more about your Darakaraka, I want to tell you I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance, because I'm giving massive percent discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. Okay. Generally, I have seen Saturn Darakaraka, people, if you have Saturn Darakaraka, your spouse can be attached to your, can be attached to their mother. Because if you even see the story of Saturn, right, like they may have conflict with their father, but they may be attached to their mother. Possibility are good about that. Especially when you see the story of Saturn, you can relate with it. Now, Saturn is a Darakaraka. Also talk about that your spouse, if let's say your spouse have certain age, so they may look few years older in age, but then you have to look other factors as well for that, because some exception come in this case. Let's say your Saturn is a Darakaraka, but in your spouse chart, if Mercury is placed in their first house, Mercury is influencing their first house, or they become a Gemini ascendant, then they may look younger as well. So then it's like a both influencing. Your Saturn Darakaraka will also work, but their Mercury will also make them younger. So yeah, then things may change, right? Also, you will see that Saturn Darakaraka will make your spouse very cold nature and less expressive type of person. Okay, Saturn Darakaraka also give indication that you may be attracted to a spouse who could have Saturn in the first house. Saturn is influencing their first house, or moon is in the sign of Saturn, which is Capricorn or Aquarius, or in moon is placed into the sign of Saturn in the navamsa. Okay, that could also possible, right? So somehow Saturn influence can be strong in the spouse chart. Saturn is a Darakaraka. Definitely your spouse will be a very hardworking person, or something happen in their life due to which they naturally become a hardworking kind of a tendency. Saturn is a Darakaraka can sometime also give you a spouse who can be a bit activist, because Saturn also talk about the masses, and especially when Saturn become retrograde, and then you will also see that such people would love to revolt against government, and this protest happen. For that, Saturn is very much responsible. Even you see when Sun transited into the sign of Capricorn, that's when many protests get triggered, because at that time Sun, which is the government, is transiting into the sign of Saturn, which represent masses. So masses try to take over the government. Yeah, so they could have little bit of protest, or I would say activist kind of a person. In some cases you can get that, could be possible. Or they could have those tendencies that they may criticize government policies or social norms, or the in India parampara, riti rivaj, they may not like it, for an example. So that could also possible. You can relate with that. Saturn is a Darakaraka. Also, I've seen sometime you may feel after getting married or after in relationship that there is lot of restrictions, there is lot of rules that you have to follow after marriage. So you may feel that, and that could also sometime create issues in the marriage. Okay, because Saturn try to bind you, right? I would say bound you with Saturn Darakaraka. So you have to tackle those things, right? Because here it is about some sort of tradition or those things. Also, I've seen Saturn Darakaraka, even if I've seen in many cases that the person is extremely from a modern family. Like let's say you have Saturn Darakaraka, then your partner can be from a modern family, but something somehow happened that he is probably very following tradition thing away from his family, and he want a partner who is very traditional, who may not like those fancy things, or everything he try to say in a very he may try to ask you to be wearing more traditional clothes. I'm just giving example. So I've seen those things as well. When Saturn become Darakaraka, your partner could expect you those things in certain cases. So yeah, Saturn is a Darakaraka, can also give you a spouse for whom like the career become very important. Career become kind of a first priority as well. Okay, generally Saturn is a Darakaraka, spouse is also very less emotional. Okay, your spouse can be less emotional because you should understand Saturn is a dry planet. So what else you can expect? So until or unless they have Venus connected with the Cancer in their chart, in the Cancer sign, or Venus or even Moon is very prominently placed, then emotions can be there. But generally Saturn is a Darakaraka, you will attract a partner who could be less emotional, okay, because of Saturn dryness nature. Also Saturn Darakaraka, your spouse will, again as I told you, he or she could age faster. Okay, even let's say you get married, you will start to see that they are aging completely in comparison to you a bit faster. That can be possible. Also partner can be very hardworking, but at the same time Saturn, sometime I've also seen that they could work hard, but they could have things like a bit lazy nature sometime, and also they would not like to sleep at night. They wake up till like late night and sleep in the daytime. Such possibilities can also can also be seen, okay, with Saturn Darakaraka. I have also seen that Saturn Darakaraka can give you a spouse, probably who may not have very high demand. Like for an example, on their birthday you are giving them a gift, okay, and let's say you are giving them an expensive watch, so they may not like it. Like they may like it, but they are like, they can say like, hey, why did you wasted so much money on this? We can, like, a watch is just for like seeing the time, right? We could have a normal watch of a less price. Why did you wasted so much money? It's because Saturn is a Darakaraka, will make your spouse very practical. Okay, now again there could be variation. Let's say your person, like you have Saturn Darakaraka, but your spouse have Venus placed in the first house, then they may like luxurious thing. Okay, then things will get changed, of course. But generally Saturn is a Darakaraka, your spouse might be very practical person. Okay, so they may like a simple thing, right? Doing simple things for them. Okay, so yeah, that can be seen with Saturn Darakaraka. Saturn Darakaraka also indicate that you will have a very strong karmic bond with your partner. Okay, and that is the type of karmic connection very strongly can be seen with Saturn Darakaraka, right? Saturn as a Darakaraka also indicate that your spouse is likely to be a very mature and a very responsible person. Okay, who will like to take significant duties and obligation in their life. Okay, also Saturn Darakaraka talk about the spouse who can be disciplined and structured also. Okay, so that can be possible. Saturn Darakaraka, as I told you, a spouse who could be following traditional or liking traditional values and hardworking, right? That can be possible. Actually, you need to be very, I would say, you need to be a bit careful. Let's say you have a Saturn Darakaraka and you started to like a man, or let's say you are a female and you have Saturn Darakaraka, for an example, you like a man and you want to have relationship or get married to that person, and let's say that person wants you to live like the traditional people, he wants you to follow all the tradition, and you are a girl who hate those traditions, so then it could create conflicts. So my advice is, when you are dating, and your Darakaraka is a Saturn, even if you are a man, just ask your partner, hey, what do you think about these traditions that you guys have in your culture, or about the person that you are going to marry, because it's your Darakaraka, so you have to ask your person about their tradition, and you should tell them that this is my view about your tradition. So if they like it, then you can go ahead, and if like you feel that I cannot follow that tradition, and they ask you like, no, you have to follow them, then you need to give it a second thought, I would say. Okay, you need to just think about it again. So yeah, Saturn is a Darakaraka. Spouse can be older in age or a mature person, that can also be expected, and he or she could have patience. Okay, and I have also seen Saturn is a Darakaraka, spouse may not be very expressive, and many times very introverted and reserved person can also be seen. Okay, and they will have a very realistic, practical and serious approach in the relationship. When you have Saturn Darakaraka, the kind of a spouse you will attract. Saturn Darakaraka, due to some reason, can also give you a spouse who can be health conscious. Okay, now let's say Saturn is your Darakaraka and your 7th house, 7th lord somehow also aspected by Saturn, or in the navamsa lagna you have Saturn, then this could also indicate delays in the marriage, okay, or delay in the finding the partner, okay. Saturn Darakaraka, your spouse could also have a strong sense of duty, I would say, okay. And Saturn Darakaraka also give you a spouse who can be very knowledgeable and wise, okay. But for this particular point, I would say along with Saturn Darakaraka, Jupiter connection may also need to be seen, okay. Also, I would say with Saturn Darakaraka, you can expect generally spouse would be dependable and loyal person, okay, who would have, I would say, who would see, or I would say who would view marriage as a significant duty, and he or she might work to ensure that relationship is stable and enduring. That can be seen, okay. Spouse would like to have a long-term goal, okay, long-term goal, that can be seen. He or she can focus on long-term goal, okay, and plan things carefully, that can be seen. Possibly age difference can be expected with Saturn Darakaraka, okay. And spouse can sometime, I have seen with Saturn Darakaraka, can appear a bit distant or detached, okay. Like for an example, you may notice that sometime your spouse can be very emotionally detached, okay. That can be possible. Or let's say you are just showing emotion some way, you are feeling like that, and they are very dry about it, they are like, okay, whatever. So yeah, that can be seen, okay. But spouse with Saturn Darakaraka generally is very supportive in difficult times. That can be seen with Saturn Darakaraka. And Saturn Darakaraka, if let's say other things like 7th house, etc., 7th lord is well placed in your chart, then generally talk about the longevity in the marriage, okay. So that can be seen. And Saturn Darakaraka, generally I have also seen that your spouse may prefer simplicity, okay, very simplicity, right. Now with Saturn, if Jupiter also influence, then I would also say that they could also be a bit religious, right. That can be possible. And Saturn Darakaraka may also give you a spouse who may love to have a minimalistic lifestyle, okay, that can be seen. And also they may prefer stability, right, that can also be expected. Saturn Darakaraka also suggests that your spouse can have experienced hardship, some sort of hardship in their life, right, that could also be seen, right. Saturn Darakaraka also suggests that spouse can be a bit reserved, okay, sometime that can be possible. And Saturn Darakaraka sometime can also give you a spouse who could have interest in history, or probably they would like to collect antique things, okay, that can also possible, like old things, right, old book, old stuff, right, that can also be possible, okay. So yeah, these are the things generally I've seen with Saturn Darakaraka. See, Saturn, if you're Darakaraka, then you should destroy your ego. I would say you should avoid your ego, because Saturn Darakaraka when become, it will literally destroy your ego, because ego is related to Sun and Saturn do not like that. So yeah, that is always the case even with Saturn Sadesati or Saturn Mahadasha, that it will literally create situation that if you are egoistic, it will definitely bring you down. So yeah, try to avoid ego in relationship, especially when you have Saturn Darakaraka. So yeah, this is all about Saturn Darakaraka.
Now guys, I would like to tell you before you move forward, you can directly take consultation from us. We have created a website now. It's so simple. You can go there, link in description and the comment section below. You can just click there, and just click of a button, you can just simply purchase directly consultation from us, as the instruction are given on the website, and then we will just help you out in the consultation, okay guys. So for that, links are in comment section and description. You can purchase consultation also.
Now let's talk about Rahu Ketu as a Dharakarka. Now see, Rahu Ketu generally do not considered as a Dharakarka, but I have, actually I am doing a bit of research, and I have seen in certain cases that yes, Rahu becoming an Amatya Karka, impacting the profession that the person is doing totally different thing. Rahu as a Darakaraka sometime also working, and certain people also give importance to that. Now see, when it comes to Rahu Ketu, you will not consider that as a Darakaraka. Okay, but you can consider in certain cases Rahu Darakaraka. Why? Because if you understand the story of Rahu, how Rahu Dev have like drink the nectar of immortality, right? By like cleverness, smartness, okay, and how the Rahu Maharaj was born. So you will understand that, okay, this is how it works. So they, like, Rahu is a planet who always want to have its importance everywhere. So, you know, that is why I think in certain cases Rahu also become Darakaraka, okay. But for Rahu becoming Darakaraka, you need to see, I would say, 8 planet Darakaraka system that will generally be seen in the Parashara Light software and all other software, okay, generally that I have. So you have to generally subtract its degree from 30 for Rahu, because Rahu Darakaraka seeing it's not easy. You have to first subtract from 30 its degree, the degree at which Rahu is. That's when you can find how much degree Rahu it is. So generally software calculate that. But if let's say your Rahu is becoming, so Ketu will not become your Darakaraka, okay, Ketu cannot be taken. But yes, Rahu, sometime I have also seen that yes, it can become Darakaraka. So first of all, if Rahu become Darakaraka, then what you can expect? Rahu represent anything which is outcast, right? Which is different, which is totally different from your own culture, your own even religion. Okay, Rahu influence is such a strong that it can literally take you to anywhere which is different, and that's when it give you peace of mind. So you will see that Rahu when become Darakaraka, it may give you such a obsession or such a mentality I have seen that you may feel like no, I cannot get married to this person of my own. Like for an example, you are in a country where arranged marriages are happening and you have to get married in your own community, etc. Rahu when become Darakaraka, it will give you an obsession. And let's say it's Dashantar Dasha also running at the time of your relationship age or something, you will feel like from inside very strong, because Rahu represent your thought. So let's say you are saying yes to your parents that okay, I would like to meet someone, but then you start to get these thoughts like no, you cannot do it, you have to, like, you will get trapped here, this will happen, that will happen. So such kind of thoughts will come in your mind. It will create such a strong desire inside your body that you want to probably like meet someone who is like a foreigner, different caste, different religion. In fact, I have seen when Rahu become Darakaraka, it will create different situation. Rahu also represents sudden thing. Suddenly you go travel somewhere, and you know everything which is unexpected is possible in Rahu Darakaraka. Like everyone is expecting you to do an arranged marriage. Let's say for an example, you are in a traditional country and you suddenly went to a foreign country, you married to a foreigner, and you post a picture on Instagram or social media, and people is like in shock. Like, how can this be possible? This man or a girl, this boy or a girl who was supposed to get married to by doing like arranged marriage, and he looks like or she looks like a normal person, very normal, who have never done anything, and suddenly he or she is like done that. So people may get surprised or shocked, I would say. That's what Rahu is. Suddenly things. Like suddenly you may go to, you like a girl, and within a couple of weeks you guys decided to get married and you did a court marriage. That can also Rahu. Now, before I tell you more about your Darakaraka, I want to tell you I have launched my money and wealth remedy self-help course. Don't miss this chance, because I'm giving massive % discounts for the first few hundred people who will purchase this course. In this course, you will learn powerful techniques and remedies to attract wealth and abundance using astrology. So act now and enroll fast. This offer won't last longer. Definitely check out this course on my website. Rahu in certain cases become Darakaraka. It can also possible. You started like you just suddenly like a girl, and you guys have a relation together, physical relation, the girl get pregnant, and now you get married to her because of that. Such kind of a situation can also possible, right? So anything which is unexpected, you can expect that in the Rahu. But I have seen Rahu Darakaraka very strong inclination towards breaking the traditions and the norm of the society. It will create your mind in such a way that you may constantly feel that something in your mind is poking you, just hitting you, that you cannot do the same thing that everyone is doing. You have to be different. And due to which they, let's say, travel to foreign lands, they travel to long distance, they meet a girl or a boy, they feel attracted, and then somehow they get married, right? So yeah, now see, if let's say along with this Rahu Darakaraka, if everything is also well placed, let's say 7th lord is good, chart is very good, and chart show that a very good wedding, a very show off type wedding, then of course in such cases, even if these guys are doing something different from their culture, their family and parents get agree and they will have a very good wedding, but people still get shocked because you are doing something which is different. That is what Rahu is. Even in the older times, you see some people whose family do not get agree. Some people, used to, like the boy and girl, run away and they travel to another city or a country and they get married there and stay away from their family. That is also the type of combination this Rahu Darakaraka can make. To also understand the mantra of Rahu, in the mantra of Rahu, they used Mahavir word. Mahavir is not used for the Mars even, right? Although Mars represent energy, but the Mahavir is used for Rahu in the Vedic mantra of Rahu, right? Ardhakaram Mahaviryam, right? So you should understand they use Mahavir because Rahu give tremendous courage to a person. You will understand, like if you are going through Rahu Madasha, you will see that although there are a lot of problem, illusion, deception, right? Cheating can be possible with you, but Rahu will give you such a tremendous confidence that you can literally travel anywhere where not, like I have seen people with Rahu Madasha, they travel to a long distance foreign country in a very, even at a places that no one in their entire family could ever imagine to go. And the people literally ask them like, hey, how can you travel alone to such a places? How can you do solo traveling? Because Rahu gives them such a tremendous courage. Okay, that's what possible, right, with the Rahu. But with Rahu Dharakaraka, I would suggest you to be a bit careful. Okay, you should do cross checking of the person that you wants to get married when your Rahu is Dharakaraka, because if Rahu is not well placed in your chart, so it is a planet of see, Rahu represents smoke, illusion, so it can make you a person who could marry a person. Before marriage you were thinking that okay, this person is like this, but after getting married you are getting a totally different vibe, a totally different personality. It's like after marriage their mask is revealed, right? Like mask is removed, sorry, their face is revealed. So yeah, that is the kind of a thing. So you need to be a bit careful, you need to do cross check, you need to think again, right? And you need to ask your question that should I need to get married to this person, okay? And you need to check everything about them. Although Rahu is a Darakaraka, of course you will do something different, especially if it's Dasha Antar Dasharan, you will definitely go for different. And Rahu is a Darakaraka, if a little bit of combination is present, then I even recommend that if let's say your 7th house is also getting affected by its, right, something exotic is happening, or 7th lord is in the 6th, 9th or 12th, and Rahu is also Darakaraka, or Rahu is or Ketu is aspecting the 7th house, making a connection with the 7th lord. Generally, so such people marrying to a foreigner or even moving to a foreign land, it's a great idea, because at least Rahu will get what they want. Okay, because if your Darakaraka is this planet and you are doing something traditional, it will create problem, because you should understand you are not feeding the planet that's the planet wants you, so it will create problem. Okay, so you have to be a bit careful. Still, I would say with this particular planet you have to a bit careful. Okay, but in certain cases I've also seen that when Rahu becomes Darakaraka, such people have different kind of a desire, like they do not want like a one marriage, they want to be with multiple partner, or probably they like polygamy or such kind of a thing. So yeah, these things can also be expected, anything which is exotic or different, right? So yeah, this is what I have seen generally with Rahu Dharakaraka. Also, Rahu Dharakaraka can also discuss that your spouse could have a bit mysterious nature. That is why I also said to you that try to explore them more before having a proper marriage, okay? Because they could have a mysterious nature, okay? And spouse can also have a desire for a growth, tremendous desire, okay? Because Rahu is infinite. So yeah, and spouse could be very unpredictable when it comes to when Rahu become Darakaraka. That is also seen, I would say. And I would also say that when Rahu become Darakaraka, spouse could have very magnetic and attractive personality. Their face can be very magnetic, and their face could have a very I would say magnetic attraction. and spouse could have very good innovative thinking. Okay. Also, I have seen that spouse could also have some sort of status, or probably someone who could be working on social media, probably someone who could be a bit in some cases probably a internet sensation or something, that can also possible, or a bit of a YouTuber. Okay, that can be possible. Lust or sexual related thing can be very strong, especially if this Rahu is making connection with Venus, etc. That can be seen. Spouse can also have powerful intuition. Okay, intuition of a spouse can be very high when your Darakaraka become Rahu. Okay, also suddenly, like I would say, sudden changes in the life can be expected after marriage. Okay, although Rahu represent extremely high intelligence, if you listen the story of Rahu Dev, you can understand that. So it can talk about that his spouse could be someone who could be very clever. Like for an example, they, like you see some people who can just sense the scam. Some people will fall for the trap and scam, but some people have the ability to get the idea that okay, this guy or this girl is trying to scam me or scammer. So those people are also Rahu driven, and those people who create such scams can also be Rahu driven, but depend upon how it is working for you. So yeah, that is the kind of a spouse who could be very intelligent, right? That can also be possible. Very extreme high intelligent, I would say. Okay, that can also be expected when Rahu become your Darakaraka. And interested in very different kind of a knowledge, even mystical sciences, astrology, occult sciences can also be seen in your spouse. Also Rahu Darakaraka can also give your spouse I would say strong willpower. Okay, that can be possible. But I have also seen when Darakaraka become your Rahu, so it can give you a spouse who could do a lot of overthinking. Okay, that can be possible. And Darakaraka spouse, if your Darakaraka is Rahu, it will give you a spouse who wants to, like, who will be a freedom lover. Somehow they love just freedom. Rahu become Darakaraka, so there will be a very strong chances that you will have a past life connection. Some sort of past life connection is for sure there between you and your spouse when Darakaraka become Rahu. Okay, and if let's say in their chart Rahu Saturn are also making connection, so they may also be inclined towards politics. Okay, Rahu Darakaraka also discuss that your spouse could have a very hidden talents. Okay, in certain cases Rahu Darakaraka could also give you a spouse who can be into tantra, mantra and yantra kind of a thing. Okay, so yeah, these are the things generally I have seen with Darakaraka Rahu.
Now guys, I would like to tell you before you move forward, you can directly take consultation from us. We have created a website now. It's so simple. You can go there, link in description and the comment section below. You can just click there and just click of a button, you can just simply purchase directly consultation from us as the instruction are given on the website, and then we will just help you out in the consultation. Okay guys, so for that links are in comment section and description. You can purchase consultation also. Now